So I'm here with Nate. What's your last name?
Cornacchia.
Yeah, Valhalla TV. I didn't know who you were, but then 3 people mentioned you in the same week, and then I didn't even know they had on YouTube. They have where it shows the top pages people are watching, and you're one of the top pages. I'm like, fuck, I got to hit you up. So
yeah, man.
Someone gave me your number. So
I know who you were way before. I was a big fan of you way before you knew who I was. So.
Well, no, I love your work. As soon as I saw your videos, I'm like, oh, this guy's awesome. I don't know how. I didn't know who you. You know, once you hear a name, then you start seeing it over and over.
We're definitely in the same space of content too. So
and I was saying earlier with you, I feel like elite military guys and elite fighters, we have like the same mindset. Not lower level ones, they're different, but like the guys that are elite, it feels just so similar.
Yeah. Well, I think there's combative arts and then there's combat.
Yeah.
And so like the actual action of, closing with and destroying the enemy in the cage or on the battlefield.
Basically identical.
And there's a lot that goes into that too, the pre-train up,
the prep,
the discipline that goes into learning the skill set, to being able to do all of what you guys are doing. It's very similar. Yeah,
it's years of hard work. I'm sure you didn't become an elite military guy like overnight.
No.
Like most guys can't make it. A lot of guys say they want to be. I'm for sure the same with a Green Beret or SEAL. All the guys tell me, I'm going to be in the UFC. It's like, but then they don't want to put in the work.
Well, and I think there's a statistical percentage that's pretty similar to that too. If you look at guys that get to like the Navy SEAL, Green Beret, Delta Force level, that's 0.001% of the military, whereas the guys fighting in the UFC is
and then you have like the top guys of the UFC are really another level, and
that's like Delta Force for us, guys way up here, and then there's the lower level. But I think there's a lot of similarities in between UFC fighters and special operators for sure.
Yeah, you made a video that just really related to me. It was like, don't look up to us as heroes. It was talking about special forces, but it was just like you could have been speaking about fighters, how we're all a little sociopathy. We don't go fight for no reason. It's like clearly something's a little wrong with us, but we're also some of the nicest guys, best friends. Like I said, they'll do favors, do this, but they're also something's obviously a little bit off with us.
So you have to, and I talked about it in that video, essentially don't look at us as role models, right?
Yeah, that's what I tell people.
I mean, if you think about the job of a Green Beret or Navy SEAL, there's like, what is the ultimate job is to essentially, again, close with, destroy the enemy on behalf of the United States. And you have to be able to, as you said, be a bit of a sociopath, because you have to be able to do horrible things potentially and then still compartmentalize it, come back home, and then reintegrate into society. Same way you as a fighter, you have to be able to get into a cage,
try to kill someone,
and then walk back out of that cage and be a normal functioning member of society.
Yeah, no,
which not all of you manage to do.
Yeah, no, some guys do crazy things, but a lot of us do.
Yeah.
And like as you said, a lot of times we're excellent fathers, husbands, but we're kind of sociopaths, and you have to be aware of that. And for guys not be aware of that, it's like we're not trying to be role models.
Yeah, and you have to be willing to hurt people, and then be able to justify that, at least maybe not as a good thing, but as justifiable, right? And it takes a very specific type of person to do that, I think.
No, like when I'm fighting, I would kill someone without thinking twice. Thankfully, I never had, but like that's what you're trying to do, and I'd be willing to die in there. I always tell fighters, you shouldn't fight unless you're willing to die and willing to kill your opponent. My last fight, I didn't feel like I was willing to die, and I lost. That's when I retired. I go, I wasn't willing to die that night.
Heart wasn't in it.
Yeah, if I'm not going to die out here, why am I out here?
Yeah.
And I've won fights, like when Dan Henderson dropped me twice, came back and won, just because I was so determined. I was willing to die that night. I'm floored, but I'm like, no, I'm not going to fucking quit. And that's if you shouldn't be fighting unless you're willing, if you have that kind of dedication and seriousness. And you're obviously the same. You got to be willing to die and kill.
And it's so funny you say that, is even trying to get through the training pipeline, the Green Beret training pipeline's upwards of like 2 years long.
Yeah.
And you would imagine in like your train ups, right? Your fight camps.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're just physically getting destroyed every single day.
Yeah.
And in our train ups, I mean, there's times where you think like they're going to kill me. There's no way that like you can even make it through this, but you have to just be like
mentally push through.
Well, if they kill me, they kill me.
Yeah.
Just to make it through, those are the only type of people that are going to make it through that type of long elite style training, is a guy that's just like, I'll never quit, and you have to kill me.
Exactly.
Now luckily they're not going to kill you in training, right?
But you have to have that mindset, because on the battlefield they will kill you. But you have to be willing to die at least. Hopefully you won't die, but you have to have accepted it that you could.
And on the battlefield, there's potentially times where you are going to fight to the death. We've seen that even with the American military. A lot of combat operations, it's like you can't just roll up in a ball and be like, I'm done fighting.
My anxiety kicked in.
There's no
tap
that's
out.
the different thing. There's no tap out in the middle of a gunfight. So
it's like one of you is going to die.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or, likely, it's very, like, obviously it's higher stakes what you're at, but it's still very similar. The adrenaline of fighting, because we have a couple million people watching sometimes.
That
so
too.
you add that on, that's pretty fucking crazy.
We was watching the Roadhouse movie with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where as he's like walking out, and you just see it from behind him, and it's the entire crowd. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, how? I've never experienced
it's crazy.
that. I've experienced the adrenaline of gunfighting, which is probably
very similar.
But like for you guys to walk out with an entire arena.
That's the craziest part when you walk out. When I fought George St. Pierre,
there to see you.
It was 60,000 people. We were the main event. I look up because the U.S. arenas hold like 20,000 at most.
Yeah.
So like 3 times that, like the biggest arenas in the U.S. they have fights. I'm looking up being like, oh my God. But then I go, okay, George is going to have to walk out and deal with the exact same thing I'm dealing with.
Yeah. That's insane, dude.
Oh,
and then you got to get in the cage with somebody who's going to try to kill you.
Exactly.
In front of
like the best fighter in the world who's trying to kill you in front of and millions watching at home. So, but like you have yourself trained where you're ready to go.
Yeah.
You couldn't just walk. I couldn't just walk and randomly do that right now. But you're training so hard your whole life. You get mentally. I'm sure when you're on missions, you probably get mentally prepared, psyched up.
For us, it's like before we get on the helicopter. Like right before, like everybody's
just right before, right? Not too long before.
Everybody's on the flight line. The helicopters roll in. And you're like, dude, you're amped through the gills. The ramps come down, everybody loads up, and you get ready to fly in, and like, dude, that adrenaline has got to.
You guys stay kind of chill before, and then right before you get like serious, especially when fighting. Like,
I mean, dude, like, as a younger dude, when you're on your first couple missions, it's like
you're amped up, but then you realize it's not good.
But then you'll see some of the older guys that some of the senior guys on my team would be, oh yeah, they're just like, man. Okay, it's the 50th one of these, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So everybody, I think, is nervous.
Yeah, there's always nerves, but it's not like you don't want that over amped up. You learn when you get older. When you're young, you're like, oh yeah, amped up, about to fight, probably like that in the same. But you get older, you got that little nerve, but you're like, all right, stay relaxed, breathe.
Yeah, and it's not just like you're just gonna run out there in some gladiator style event. Like we're doing some type of strategic counterterrorism operation to where there's like. It's like a chessboard, right? And like
it's very technical.
Everything's technically like you're moving, maneuvering units, and doing different things to be able to get through.
You have it all pre-planned out before when you guys go.
Everything.
How large were the missions were you? Does it vary a lot, or are you usually a certain size team?
So in Green Berets, the way we operate is completely different than every other military unit in the world, and that we only have a 12-man team. So there's only 12 Americans. Wow. And the way we do it is we actually train foreign nation forces, and then we fight with them. So what we do is we train in Afghanistan, for example. We did train up in Afghanistan, an Afghani force, and then take out their commandos with maybe 50 or 60 guys. Yeah. And then we lead them to go do counterterrorism operations. So it's not like the Rangers or the SEALs that got.
It's all just them. So you're
40 or 50 American guys.
And you're having to trust these Afghan guys that they're not.
Not just that, but with only 12 guys, we're hitting targets that are as big as a target that an infantry unit would hit. Because we have 60 or 70 guys, but you're split up into different elements, right, across the battlefield. And so you may only have one other American with you with 10, 15 Afghans. And so it's me, my buddy,
leading them
in the middle of the night, and then I've got 15 Afghans with me, and that's where we're going to engage in this gunfight with.
And you have to hope they stay loyal. And how are they as fighters?
An interpreter.
They're pretty
hit and miss. So
because they have a lot of like pride there, but not
in
always,
Afghanistan. The Afghans. So there's different levels. There's the Afghan National Army, the Afghan Police. These are like you never know if you're going to get shot in the back or not from these type of guys. Then you have the commandos.
That'd be so hard to work with people like that.
Yeah, so Green Berets typically aren't working with.
So you're not with
with them, but we'll have like the commandos, which are going to be like a little bit higher trained force, and then they have the actual Afghan or Afghan special forces that are guys that actually went through a Army Special Forces pipeline, trained by American Green Berets, and so they're an actual.
Okay, so they're actually pretty good.
So those guys are pretty good.
That's good then. So you're not like with just total like scrub.
But I mean, I've been in some pretty big gunfights, one in a near ambush, and when it comes to that crazy situation, you'll be lucky if they'll just shoot back and not
people freeze up or run or like right, like that's.
If they like will just shoot back
it'll help some. Yeah.
Then you're like, okay, that's good enough.
Yeah. Well, back to fighting. I was fortunate. The Diaz brothers, I think you know. I know when we had some brawls, some televised, some not. I know they would never run under any circumstance. It didn't matter how numbered we at. We'd go down together, you know. And that's like usually win in those situations. We'd stay back to back. Like, fuck it, bro. We're gonna go down together. But then a lot of times people will break after a while if you just keep fucking being gnarly. Thanks for watching Fight Back Podcast. If you like the show, like, subscribe, or share the video. There's also donation links in the descriptions. I'm excited to announce the Fight Back Podcast has partnered with Anobi Peptides. Peptides are the future of medicine. They get all their peptides here in America from real compounding pharmacy, not that Chinese stuff or Indian stuff. Be sure to use promo code FIGHTBACK.
Yeah, we had the worst situation we were in with one in the near ambush I was in. We had basically all of our Afghans basically went in the front. We were in an open field walking up to a big compound and got ambushed. Didn't realize there was 10 insurgents inside. And our Afghans basically just laid down. And in the open field. Oh my God. As we're basically taking machine gun fire, PKM fire. And it really turned into like 4 Green Berets having to maneuver up and then actually eliminate the target because there's limits to that, you know what I mean? But
it's what I learned. I was a paintball team with Dan Blazarian for a while. I learned how important working as a team is because we could beat a better team if we were working better as a team, or we could have a better team and lose. Yep. You realize, wow, it's really crucial working with each other, covering for each other. Obviously, it's different, but there is similarities. Yeah. Like, you're like, wow, working as a team makes such a difference, and how much better you can get as a fighter. Like, paintball is different, but just, after 6 months, I didn't realize it got better because all the same people. A bunch of new guys came, and first game killed the whole team. Yeah. I'm like, shit, this is like, I didn't realize I got good. I just wiped out the whole team by myself. Yeah,
and that's exactly what can happen in combat with, you could have 4 Green Berets or Navy SEALs, and you'd have 30 untrained Taliban fighters.
It's such a difference. I didn't realize, and I wasn't even that good. I was just like mid-level, but because I was playing with the good guys in like 6 months, I just took out like 5 a whole team. Yeah. So I know the angles to shoot at, the ways not to get shot, how to stand. Do you guys do like airsoft or paintball and stuff to train?
So we have simulation rounds. So basically,
it's even better than paintball.
It's our regular guns, and then you swap out the bolt carrier, and it allows you to shoot basically what is a paintball round. Yeah, I
feel like that helped so much.
It's with
just
our
learning the
guns.
angles you could shoot out, shots. It's just like it seems like that'd be so useful to military strategy, fighting with people.
Yeah, so we do that, and then we have shoot houses where we do work on our CQB, close quarter battle, and things like that. And yeah, that's exactly what we do. We have OP4. Yeah. So we'll usually send the new guys in. Because getting shot, these simulation rounds are a lot worse than paintballs. Because they're firing like an import.
And it's more realistic.
It's like an AR-15.
They don't quite have the realistic fire. It's still very helpful, I think, but it's not.
Well, they shoot. It shoots a.
It's almost like a real bullet. Yeah.
It's an actual real bullet cartridge, but it's shooting a paint round. So you get hit with them, and it's gonna.
So it's way quicker and straighter.
Yeah, and it hurts, man. So it's like it's course correcting. Right?
Yeah, you don't want to get hit
with a simulation round, and you're like, oh, I'm never gonna do whatever I just did. I'm not going to peek my head out around that corner again because
Dan has like a paintball field at his house. It's like so dope.
Oh, he does?
But I got kicked off the team. So
were you not good enough?
No, I just couldn't do because they were doing 3-4 days a week, and I was just so busy right now. Another point in my life could have, but the podcast and shit. So
you didn't have 4 days.
I was a little
butthurt
still, but I 100% understand. Because you need to do that to get good at something. You know that. Let's go back to start with your career a little bit, or just how you got started. Like, how did you get in the military? Like, what were you doing before that? Did you go right out of high school? Or?
No. I went to college for a couple years at the University of Oregon. I always like to joke, everybody gives me shit for this. I was on the University of Oregon cheerleading team. Division I athlete, by the way.
Lots of girls you're throwing around, though.
Yeah, I always tell people, everybody jokes around about that, but I always tell young guys, I'm like, if I could go back, if any sport I would actually have focused on, it would have been cheerleading. It's like the University of Oregon, right, is known as like the hottest cheerleading team in the nation.
Really? I know that.
And so, funny story about how I ended up doing it. I had a buddy of mine that was a running back for the Ducks that I went to high school with, tore his ACL. Basically, career was over. And so he went out and joined the cheerleading team. And then we were out one night at the bar, and he walked up to me. He's like, "Hey, you should come out to tryouts for the Oregon Duck cheerleading team tomorrow." And I was like, "Dude, that sounds gay. I'm like, "That's so fucking gay. I'm not doing that." And he was like,
"Really, it's the opposite of gay, though."
I didn't think about it, right? And he was like, "Just show up. Just show up for one day." And it's at the basketball court. And he's like, just show up tomorrow for one day. And I'm like, all right, fucking whatever, man. And so I'm like, okay, cool. So I show up, I walk in, the gymnasium's open. And this is basically like the UFC for 19-year-old girls, right? For them.
Yeah, so
like
it's like
Oregon
the
Duck cheerleading.
elite. It's like the elite of the
or
elite.
Kentucky cheerleading is like the pinnacle.
Interesting.
For them, right? This is like going to play for, North Carolina if you're a basketball player. So I walk in the gym, and I'm 20, 21 years old at the time. Walk in the gym, and there's like 100 of the hottest 19-year-old girls I've ever seen in my life in spandex shorts and sports bras. And it's like all the guys are over here like stunting and throwing the girls around. And I like, as soon as I walk in the door,
not that gay.
I see him, and he was like, and I was like, okay, I could see. And so I did that for a couple years. And then was a DJ at a nightclub as well.
A cheerleader and DJ.
Yeah. And the
DJs though, I was always jealous because like they don't do anything. They sit there and all the girls are always.
So I had both. Right.
I have dude fans. It's all dudes coming up to me.
Yeah. So that was it was actually that was a great time. But then it was crazy. I woke up one morning and I was just like after a bender. Right.
Yeah, like too much partying.
Yeah. 3-day bender.
Oh Jesus, yeah,
and
that's a rough one.
Woke up one morning and my dad was a Green Beret as well in Vietnam. My grandpa was in the 82nd Airborne, jumped into Normandy on D-Day, so like my family lineage was like big military.
Yeah,
and I just woke up one morning and I was like, dude, I'm destined for something bigger than this.
Yeah,
and I literally just that next day walked into the recruiter's office, signed up to join the military. Like,
wow.
Out of nowhere,
just
off a bender.
Signed up. Yeah, he hadn't slept. Wake up just feeling like a loser,
which was probably ridiculous for me to think at the time. Like coming from
you needed to change
that lifestyle
though.
that I could be a Green Beret. Like kind of really stupid thought, but like I got lucky. I was able to.
Would you always have a tough mindset? You must have. I think it's hard to teach that.
Yeah, I think that for sure. I mean, it was in athletics my entire life, and then. Having growing up in a military household as well.
Your dad was probably a little strict.
Yeah, a strict household, disciplined household. So like already sort of had that foundation. And then joined the military on what's called an 18 X-ray contract, which is basically what it guarantees you is that you go to basic training, airborne school, and then straight to Army Special Forces assessment and selection. So you've been in the military for 4 months, and you go try out to be a Green Beret, which is. Wow. Not a high success rate.
Yeah.
But I was able to. I got selected my first try, and then made it through the Q course first try. So I did 4 months in Army basic training, and then the rest of my career was in Army Special Forces. So
you guys get a lot better treatment and stuff over there. Or?
Yeah, there's like the grass is greener. Like
a little better treatment.
Each tier you go up, like from the regular Army, then you go into Special Operations or Special Forces. The grass is greener. You get paid more. Not that there's less work, right? Like the job's definitely is harder and more demanding. You get to do a lot cooler stuff, and then as you go up, you had Brent on, right? And you go up to the next level to Delta Force.
Yeah, he's like elite.
And then the grass gets like really
because they look up like, oh, this guy is like the shit.
Well, the grass is really green over there because they have all the money. Those guys are like operating at the highest level in the world. So
that's literally the best soldiers in the world.
That's
right
like.
There.
The NFL All-Star team.
Yeah, like above. Yeah. No, my dad was actually a Green Beret.
Or for the UFC, it's like
the champions,
UFC Hall
the
of
champions
Fame,
and stuff.
The champions, yeah.
No, my dad was a Green Beret. Unfortunately, I don't know all the details, but he was stationed in Iran instead of Vietnam. But he was very disheartened from the military. He always told me not to join, so I don't know exactly what he did. I wish I'd asked more questions, but
that's funny you say that because my dad never encouraged me to join.
He told me not to join it. Yeah,
at all. He didn't ever tell me not to, but it was like. I never heard a single war. The first war story he told me was after I graduated the Q course and became a Green Beret. That was the first time he ever told me a story. I'd been in the military for a couple of years at that point.
So he just didn't overtalk. Yeah, my dad would take a little bit, but he never really told specifics. He just said he wasn't good. I know he did some stuff for the Shah that was there in time.
He said
he felt like he was on the wrong side. I just know that. So I don't know. He never said if he killed anyone or not, any of that type of stuff.
Well, we definitely, the United States definitely put the Shah in power for very specific reasons.
Yeah, and they had him like basically being his lackey. I don't know exactly what he was doing, but
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, some of the people you're going to work with for those older era Green Berets. My dad, I know, did security for George H. Bush,
oh, wow.
H.W. Bush, while he was in the CIA. in Laos and Cambodia.
Yeah,
so.
probably doing some shady shit. I'm sure working for
some
him.
Stuff we can't talk about on here. Yeah,
yeah,
actually.
right.
Yeah, real shady shit.
Yeah. So the Green Beret, you were sent to Afghanistan.
Yep. So, I was in First Special Forces Group. So it works for the Green Berets as we have 5 main groups or active duty groups: first group, third group, 5th, 7th, and 10th. And each group is in the base is at a different place in the country. So like first group's in Washington State. And the way the groups work is each group handles a certain region of the world.
Yeah.
So first group primarily handles Asia. So we are going to do whatever's going on in Asia. That's where first group's going to grow. And so primarily most of my deployments were to Asia, but all of us during the global war on terror would rotate through Iraq and Afghanistan. And so I only got one trip to Afghanistan in 2018. And then the rest of my deployments were to Mongolia, Philippines, Australia, places like that. So I got to deploy all over the world.
Interesting.
But then also combat deployment to Afghanistan as well. Never did Iraq, which I'm fine with because
how
my
did you
buddies.
get out of that?
Just never rotated through.
Especially now looking back, you're kind of aware that everything we were doing wasn't good, so it probably.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that's with looking back on it, right? Afghanistan, especially, like when I first went to Afghanistan, I think I've changed drastically in my ideologies and the way that I look at the world from
I would imagine
2016, getting ready to deploy to the Middle East, and then obviously at that time was like just as, I don't want to call it brainwashed, but propagandized as the rest of the country of like Islam bad, Israel good,
Judeo-Christian values, Israel good,
us fucking up the Middle East good, right? And
so
that's how I deployed, just like everybody. And then I think all of us, or the vast majority of us, after a while, you're like looking around.
What are we doing?
It's like just like rolled through another Taliban village in the middle of nowhere, Afghanistan, where like, what's the strategic value of us fucking these people up?
Yeah, right. We're gonna fuck up some village and then wonder why did they hate us for our freedom?
And so you do that, and like, you look back on it and you're like, well, I don't really know what and at the same time, like, what did we really do? Well, it took us 20 years for us to spend trillions and trillions of dollars to replace the Taliban with the Taliban.
It's pure insanity, right? Pure insanity.
And
imagine
then,
if like your son died or something over there, or you lost a leg, or like.
Well, and it's not just it's not just losing legs and stuff like that, but I lost teammates, man. I lost some of my best friends.
God, that's gotta be hard. That's gotta be hard, like out there, and then you have to go on the next day.
Well, yeah, and then afterwards too. So also just had one of my closest teammates, take his own life 2 years ago as well from the fallout, and that's super common. I think I've had 4 or 5 guys just from my company, my first company I worked in, which is like 6 teams, so 100 dudes. 4 or 5 guys I think that have taken their own lives.
Why do you think
just
so
from
much?
that company?
Why do you think it's such an issue? Guys have a hard time adjusting. Plus, maybe they feel bad things they did, or like that's a lot.
I mean, it's different for everybody. I think one of the biggest things that happens is guys lose their purpose, because we talk about this, what you never ever see in combat downrange is guys take their own lives. So like at war.
No, you're never gonna take your own life at war. Obviously, it's you're fighting.
Exactly.
You have a purpose.
And not only that, but like, there's this like juxtaposition of, in my own brain, morality wise, of like, what we're doing is probably not good, but at the same time, like, you love doing it.
Yeah, you have a mission still. Yeah,
it's super. Like, this is what we trained years and years and years and years and years for, is to come out, close with, destroy the enemy.
Well, plus it's like a brotherhood. Like in fighting, most people couldn't understand. You build the brotherhood and bond that's unimaginable anywhere else. I would imagine it's exactly the same with you guys. You're just side by side. I don't think you can build this brotherhood anywhere else. That's where like race doesn't matter. You can make racist jokes. Like when you're fighting, you don't give a fuck what race someone is.
Well, and for us, like I said, as Green Berets, like, again, we got 12 guys out there, and we're operating with the partner force.
That's your 12 brothers you have right there. Yeah.
Who are they?
Yeah.
Those are Afghanis, dude. Those are Muslims.
Yeah, and they become your brothers too, though, when they might save your life.
They're the ones, and they're the ones that, like, for us, we would always have 2, 3 Afghans, or for us, we actually had personal security detail that were Hazarans. So in Afghanistan, you have, explain it a little bit. It's kind of like the tribal mountain mountain people, sort of like the mutton yards in Vietnam. So in Afghanistan, it's very tribal. So like different sort of ethnic groups.
You don't have a bunch of Afghan
So
friends.
you have the Daris, you got Pashtuns. Typically the Daris or like the ANA, Afghan nationals. The Pashtuns typically were the Taliban. And then Hazarans were sort of like sort of the tribal mutton yards of the area that were very, very close with the United States. And so those guys would literally, with mine detectors, like walk in front of me and my teammates everywhere we went. So that way
they would step on it first.
That way they would get their legs blown off.
Oh my God.
So that I don't. Right?
You'd have a lot of respect for those guys.
Or like going any room we would go into, right? Like 2-3 Afghans are going to make sure that they go into that room before I do. So they get shot in the face before me. So this is like, I think a lot of people criticize me when like I won't come out and denounce Islam in America.
And
I'm like,
I'm not anti-Islam. Yeah.
But I try to explain to people, I'm like, well, who was it downrange that was like fighting next to me?
Could have got their legs blown off instead of you.
And my teammates, right? Like, that was Muslims. Every operation I went out on, it was Muslims fighting with me against the terrorists, right? So it's like, I'm not going to automatically just denounce these people because of their religion, because like they risked their lives for me and my teammates over and over and over again, night in, night out. And so it's like, and then I say, people get upset when I go, you know who didn't? You know who didn't shed a single
Israelis? Do you have any Jews on your team?
Zero, because Israel didn't deploy anything to the entire global war on terror. Not a single soldier.
Not one. We fight their fucking wars. They don't send one fucking soldier.
Saudi Arabia did. The Kurds did. Like you can go down the line. Turkey, right? Afghanis, Iraqis. Like you can go down the line. They all fought 20 years with us, but they didn't. And so that's why I tell people, I'm like, sorry if you want me to denounce a group of people that I literally fought a war with. Like that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, and if you're supposed to be liberating then Muslims, why do you hate them? I'm not trying to bring more Muslims to the country, but as a whole, they're not causing problems.
Yeah, but
maybe in Dearborn, I haven't been there, but they're assimilating for the most part.
But why did they all get brought here to begin with?
We blew up their countries.
Because we destabilized their countries and we created a 23 million refugee crisis from going in and overthrowing the governments of Iraq, and Afghanistan, Sudan, Somalia, Libya, Lebanon, Syria. Like we did that. And so I don't think that culturally necessarily I want America to be Islam. That's not it at all.
No,
but
exactly. But we have no problem with these guys either. Our views are the same.
In their own area of the world.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with them. And America really doesn't either, other than.
No, there's not a problem with. People are so dumb when they're like, they hate these countries. Like, I've been to these countries. I'm treated so amazingly. I mean, being a fighter probably helps, but if the Islamic hospitality is over the top, you know?
Yeah.
I've been like Morocco with the king. Like,
and people will say, well, what about Islamic extremism? I'm like, yeah, it's a big problem.
Yeah.
But there's extremist problems all over the world. Well, Muslims are killing Christians in Africa. Yeah, they are. But I mean, Jews are too, and they're Christians
in Palestine.
In Palestine, right? And then you have Christians killing Muslims in different places in Africa. So it's like you're going to have extremism and third worldism everywhere in the world. Yeah. To me, the actual religious foundation, whether it be even Judaism, Christianity, or Islam, is really irrelevant to that discussion.
Well, there's different cultures too. There's so many different Islamic cultures people don't understand. They're not going to be the same if you go to Morocco or Lebanon or Somalia. It's totally different countries. People aren't smart enough to understand. It's totally different cultures.
The difference between Dubai and Somalia
is insane. Yeah,
it's pretty.
Dubai is way safer than America and cleaner. And
then Somalia is one of the worst places in the world, right? And is it because that's the same religion? Mm-hmm. But also look at Ethiopia. You have Christianity in Ethiopia with a situation just as bad as Somalia.
Yeah, so should we bring a bunch of Christian Ethiopians over?
No.
Of course not, in my opinion.
No, I don't want them here either.
No, exactly. Like I'm consistent with my views. Other people aren't. No, one of my best friends is Afghani, and he used to go over there a lot. But he wanted me to go with him. We were in Dubai together, and I almost went, but that was some things are pretty bad. And he has ties with the military, warlords, Taliban. But then I'm like thinking, like, what if something goes wrong?
Yeah, I wouldn't do it yet.
Yeah, maybe soon. The guy is the best networker I know. It's insane, but it is. But when you're hanging out with top military guys, Taliban, warlords, could this cause some kind of like thing I get caught up in? I don't know.
I wouldn't in Iraq actually though. Like, what's crazy? I didn't know this. I have a friend that in Iraqi that was a sergeant major, and he was telling me that in Iraq now, dude, I saw pictures too. They have like biker clubs, like Harley biker clubs. There's bars everywhere, like. it's become super Americanized.
Interesting. Might have to check it out one of these days.
Yeah, and he was
I
like,
want to go to Iran because wrestling is huge there. So Iranian people always come up to me to see my ears when I travel, and they're always so friendly and nice.
Yeah.
I hear wrestlers get treated great, but can't go right now.
And
obviously,
Iran's such a crazy one too, because it's like, especially with what's going on with that now, of are they actually in revolution?
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that?
So I do know. It's hard to say because we don't really get good information coming out of there, because what you'll hear is like everyone in Iran wants the Ayatollah overthrown. Yeah. But then you'll also hear 90% of people in Iran want the Ayatollah in power.
So I don't know. That's what I'm asking, because I don't know it's true either. It's like hard to know what's true, what's not.
I don't know, but what I do know is like they're trying to put Pahlavi back in as the Shah. Mm-hmm. But it was like, if you go back and look at his dad, there's a reason why there was a revolution.
I know
in
my
Iran.
dad didn't like him.
It wasn't. People forget
he
this.
Did not like that guy.
It wasn't because Iran was so amazing under the Shah that like everybody was so happy, and then that whoopsie, Islam showed up out of nowhere to overthrow. No, there was massive political repression, insane inequality. The country was being run as a monarchy, and the people got sick of it and overthrew it. But also, the United States overthrew Iran's democracy in the 50s.
Exactly.
And installed the Shah.
Yeah, he was a puppet.
Because Iran decided to what? Nationalize their oil. Right? And so we as Americans went in, destabilized, overthrew a democracy in Iran to put in a pro-puppet U.S. monarchy. And then we were shocked, like every single time we do this around the world.
They decide they don't like us.
That they don't like us and it doesn't work out.
They hate us for our freedom. Like, it never works out, though. Look at, like, Libya. I mean, Iraq was, maybe it's getting better now, but it was terrible for a while. That's right. Really Syria is just destabilized now.
Syria's, absolutely out of control.
Another war for Israel. Like I remember like years ago, I didn't follow politics. I'm like, why are we trying to overthrow Israel? I mean Syria.
Oh, well, that's an easy one because Israel wants to go.
Now I get it.
Israel wants to go on heights. And so what we did is we allowed al-Jilani, so you might know him as al-Shrar, which is Syria's president, who's one of the former leaders of Al-Qaeda, by the way. We call him al-Jilani because that's who he really is. Mm-hmm. So, but we put him in power as a Sunni extremist because, well, the Sunnis are friendly to Israel. And what is that connection? He already made the agreement with Netanyahu that Israel could take the Golan Heights. And so that's all we did in Syria was we removed Assad because he's backed by Iran and Russia, put in an Al-Qaeda leader, but he's one that's going to give Israel what they want. Now we're good to go. So they don't care that we don't care that we actually want all of these countries destabilized. So people think it's like, oh well, we need to have a pro US puppet in charge of Syria and Iran. What Israel really doesn't care, they don't care if there's a pro-Israel. What they care is that everyone's destabilized.
Yeah, they have them fighting, and they want to keep taking more and more land.
Because if Iraq is completely fractured, well, now Saddam Hussein can't fuck Israel up when they try to go to war with Egypt, right? And then Egypt and Jordan both. Well, we figured that problem out by just
pay them insane amounts of money.
We just pay them off to be nice.
Insane amounts. And everyone's like, oh no, look, we pay them money too. It's not just Israel. Yeah, it's for Israel, you dumbasses.
Yeah, to make them play nice with Israel. So everything in the region is either paying off countries to be nice, or if we can destabilize the country, which is Libya, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq. Those are the big ones. Well, Iran is the last pillar because Iran is still the actual hegemonic superpower of the region. And they're the only ones still, really the only thing stopping the greater Israel project now is Iran.
And it seems they're hell-bent in doing it. It seems like Trump will probably do it.
Oh, like we are 100% going to try to regime change in Iran.
Yeah.
By the end of Trump's term.
Yeah.
Israel will take the West Bank, Golan Heights, and we will try to overthrow the Ayatollah by the end of Trump's presidency. 100%. Marion Adelson didn't drop $250 million on that campaign to not have those things pan out.
Yep. I think it goes to blackmail too. It seems like there's obviously he's being paid, but it seems like there's more with the Epstein stuff. The fact of how hard he's fighting to keep them.
Well, you know what they just did now? Did you see what they just did? I believe it was yesterday.
What did they do?
The White House now, because they haven't released 99% of the files still. They've now filed lawsuits that are trying to make it to where they will never have to release the files. Anything pertaining to Ghislaine Maxwell now is going to be siphoned off.
And they can just put all this stuff.
And they can just keep quartering things off that are either issues with national security. and they can put them here, here, and here, and that way they just actually will make it illegal for the Epstein files to ever be released. And
makes you really wonder what's in them. Like, how can MAGA support this? They sit there. I have had a few friends that have turned on, thank God. But if you're sitting there supporting pedophiles,
that's
like,
you
got to draw the line somewhere.
I think for me, and I've been on the anti-Trump train for a long time now. But the big one for me was when he said, "If you're still talking about the Epstein files, you're not my supporter."
Yeah, then I'm not your supporter.
And I went, okay, cool, then we're done.
Yeah, I was already not supporting him then.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was already not a fan, but I was more neutral. Like, hey, if something good's good, I'll call it. If something bad, well, there's like nothing good happening anymore now.
No, there's nothing good. I've had two friends, thankfully, turn on him recently that I didn't think would. That I asked one of them, I won't say his name, but a famous guy. We talked about him earlier, and what turned on him? He goes, the Epstein files. And I'm like, okay, good. At least you had some fucking integrity. That like. Raping kids is where you draw the line.
Well, and this is like the crazy thing is I think most Americans understand by now the real reason why the Epstein files aren't being released is not because Bill Clinton's in them or Trump's in them or there's Hollywood execs. Like, that's part of it. But the real story is that Jeffrey Epstein very clearly, obviously, was an intelligence asset, be it through CIA, most likely Mossad.
Yeah.
So the real story is that the United States government and high side CIA, NSA, however you want to look at it, were not only complicit in, but most likely involved in the development of a massive child sex trafficking ring that was used to blackmail foreign dignitaries, foreign agents, and then our own politicians.
Yep.
That's why they will never, ever.
People saw how extreme it was. And it's also a big one people forget is the businesses. All these big businesses like the tech and all this, they infiltrated that. And they probably get, infiltrate the tech, also inside trading deals. Like, you notice a lot of these Jewish billionaires kind of come up their money off some shady trade real quick. And then they donate so much money to Israel. I think it's getting that inside information in the businesses. Yeah. And
so what people do is they say, oh, well, that's that. And you're seeing it from MAGA. You're seeing it from Fox News. You're seeing it from apologists to Trump is, well, that's why we can't release them because, well, then we'll lose all this blackmail we'll lose all this leverage strategically, which is true. We like if all of a sudden the Epstein files completely came out and we found out the Crown Prince of Saudi and all these Israeli prime ministers and politicians, if all of that came out, all that blackmail's gone.
Yeah.
All of that leverage the United States has.
I want to know who's fucking kids, though, personally.
We as Americans.
and I want the ones that are American arrested and dealt with.
Me
harshly.
and you and Americans like us who aren't MAGA are going, we don't fucking care. I don't care if the system burns down.
Yeah.
I don't care if we lose the leverage on some Israel prime minister. I don't care about that. I want accountability for the fact that our own government is protecting fucking pedophiles.
It's just insane. If you don't draw the line there, like, where the fuck do you draw the line?
You don't anymore.
No, it's like how
the goalposts
it's embarrassing. Like, how can anyone fucking do it?
Megyn Kelly. What does Megyn Kelly come out and say?
What did she say?
She comes out the other day. She got hot water for this. She goes, I have somebody that's really close, and he's, and they're very confident that Jeffrey Epstein wasn't a pedophile. And she goes,
God.
she said this. She goes, these were 14, 15-year-old girls.
I think an 11-year-old.
She goes, at least they weren't 8. And it's like, okay, so this is, and then
so it's a little better, I guess. But I have a fucking daughter.
Nick Fuentes just said the exact same thing. He's in hot water too. He goes, Jeffrey Epstein's not a pedophile. Pedophilia is like 5-year-olds. It's not these 12, 13-year-olds. And it's like, no, dude. 12, like, 13, I have a 12-year-old daughter.
Exactly. If
she is a
touch your daughter,
fucking child.
Yeah, someone touch her, I'm sure you'd handle them.
Right? So it's like, so that's where you're getting this weird goalpost shifting by MAGA to be like, oh, well, at least, they're barely legal. It's like, no, 13-year-olds aren't barely legal.
Yeah. They're not even like 17 and stuff. They're trying to say like 13, 12. It's like insane.
Right. And so that's where, like, again, with MAGA, it's like, to your point, you had this red line and it was pedophilia.
Yeah.
And then when we realized, oh, actually the administration's protecting pedophiles, well, then all of a sudden that red line was like, well, we got to scratch that out of the sand because, if my daddy says that this is okay, then it's got to be okay. And for me, like, no, that was like just a hard line in the sand of like
I already was against him, but that
anyone who supports this or defends it, or like when Megyn Kelly comes out and says it, or Nick Fuentes come out and says it, I go, okay, I denounce you now, and I denounce you now, and I denounce Trump for anybody who's protecting this shit.
Yeah, you have to draw a line somewhere. To me, that's the fucking line. It's just disgusting.
Well, we are. Most Americans are. But it's like, dude,
But so many Americans are defending it.
100%.
It's Trump. I think a lot of these people, they don't think for themselves. They wait for their favorite influencer. Could you imagine waiting for your favorite influencer to give your opinion on something?
Waiting for Benny Jones to tell me what I need to think.
Yeah. They won't. They wait for their influencers to give them their opinions. That's why I started a podcast and shit. I'm like, oh, most people don't even think. They don't create their own thoughts. They just wait for their favorite influencers to tell them what to think.
I think, and I talked about this on my last show, I think what you're seeing is like this massive with Trump and MAGA. And again, I'm a conservative, man. So I wanted Trump to do a great job.
Same.
Like if we could have got like 2016 Trump, the economy starts booming. Like the border is one thing I think he's done a good job with. But like if we would have, the economy was good, the labor market was good. Yeah. Like if all of those things that we thought we were going to get was happening, like I would be, now the pedophile stuff was an immediate X. But like, let's say,
take out the pedophile thing. Yeah.
Let's say they immediately released all the Epstein files, full transparency, like all the things they promised. Like I would probably be supporting the dude.
Yeah.
But that's not what we got.
No.
We got the opposite of that.
He's done the opposite of everything. He said he's clearly been serving Israel before America, which he kind of said that when he was running, to be honest. But he ran on no foreign wars, remember? There's the meme of MAGA. Now we support pedophile and foreign wars.
And invade everyone.
People, invade everyone. It's like...
But I think it's for the people. You have tribalism, right? We all understand. Like,
no, exactly. And it makes sense to go into a group a little bit. And there's human nature.
And when Biden was in power, the far left was just as bad. I
hate them too. Yeah,
they tried to. Yeah, me too. They tried to defend. We were definitely political homeless, but they tried to defend all his crazy shit when he could barely fucking talk. Right. So it's the same. Right. It's the same type of tribalism there. But also, what I think it is you have this like massive exercise in cognitive dissonance. Essentially, people have made Trump their personality.
Yeah.
And they've probably distanced themselves from relatives and friends and family members. Like, because everything they did was to support and defend Donald Trump. And then you're 10 months in or a year in and you're like, the economy's shit, the labor market's shit. Why are we bombing Iran? Why are we invading Venezuela?
Greenland next, maybe.
Why are we threatening? Yeah. Like, and you're looking at this going, what the hell is going on? And the economy's not good. And I can't afford groceries.
Dude, the market's bad, I think, for like, I mean, we're doing pretty well, but we look at prices and I still go, what the fuck? I mean,
and so people go, these people, they can't go, I was wrong. What they have to do is because their entire personality is tied up in this tribalism and being MAGA, they have to do mental gymnastics to defend everything you're saying, including pedophiles. And that's why you're seeing it, because people are just like, look, I don't care about the pedophiles because Trump. And you're like, is that really like how you want to operate?
Right. I think you're smart and not on Twitter that much, but there's a bunch of accounts.
I'm not on Twitter at all.
There's a bunch of accounts that I know whatever Trump says, they're going to be like making an excuse to defend it. It's like their whole account is like how cool Trump is. And it's like, you guys are fucking dorks.
We just saw it with the ICE shooting. And what you saw immediately was you immediately knew, based off of outside the independent thinkers, like the far right talking heads, the far left talking heads, you immediately knew what they were going to say. Whether it was justified or whether it was murder, you immediately knew what it was going to be based off of their political party.
Yeah, I got brutally attacked on Twitter for my opinions.
Yeah.
That, I shouldn't execute, unarmed civilians unless they're in danger. So the same way about the ATF, like Ruby Ridge. I thought the right was like...
I put up a meme about that.
Yeah, I got attacked so hard for saying that, but I'm like, I'm always going to speak my real fucking opinions regardless.
I had the same opinion as you, and I'd put out a video on it, and a lot of people were pissed about it too, and I was like, look, from what I'm seeing... As someone who operated a firearm in very dangerous situations, what I saw was somebody who put themselves in position they didn't need to be in.
Put themselves in front of a car.
Right, which you are not trained to do.
Obviously.
Purposefully tried to lean into the car.
Yeah, he steps into it. There's a picture where it shows him stepping forward.
And then the other thing is, like, you're shooting someone driving a moving vehicle in a neighborhood. You know how lucky he was? It turned that car into a missile.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
It was a telephone pole, I believe, that stopped that car. If there was no telephone pole, that car
could have killed a kid.
Rolls into somebody's living room and kills an entire family. And then are we having a little bit different discussion about, hey, is it a good thing to like shoot somebody driving a car down the middle of a street in a neighborhood?
And he called her a fucking bitch as he shot her, like all angry.
But I'm just saying from a safety standpoint.
I didn't think about that, what you said. That's
like and people want to go, it's justified he got bumped. That's fine. I'm not saying you can't have that opinion, but what I am going to say is there a better way that could have been handled?
100%.
Yeah, because she's driving 3 miles per hour. Yeah. Okay, what if she drives off?
Arrest her later, yes.
You have her license plate. Yeah. You know who she is. You have her on camera. You go arrest her at her house. She's a fat lesbian.
She's not any danger to anyone.
That's my point.
She wasn't trying to kill the guy. They're like, she was trying to run him over. Like, no, she wasn't.
Now, is she being a fucking idiot down there? Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But like for me, I'm not going to cheer on federal agents shooting American citizens in the face because some American did something dumb.
Yeah.
Some unarmed American did something dumb.
That's a perfect example. It shows how both sides are so full of shit, so hypocritical. And I condemn both those shootings.
And you know, it's but also, you know, me as well, but also like people in January 6th, are you putting yourself in a dumb situation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they deserved all the fucking prison time they had. I thought that was
insane.
But
also, does she deserve to get shot in the face when she's unarmed? No. Like, there's context to this, and it shouldn't just be immediately like, hey, whatever political party I'm in, I have to think this way about this issue.
Hey guys, I'm demonetized everywhere. So if you want to support me and the podcast, go to fightbackpodcast.com and you can buy some cool merch like the shirt I'm wearing now. As many of you guys know, I run a free speech podcast. That comes as a price. It's being demonetized everywhere. So one way to support the podcast is to buy your books from AntelopeHillPublishing.com. Today's selection is The Trans-Industrial Complex. This book covers the money-making machine of the trans industries and shows it's not to help people, but to make money and get rich. So again, if you want to support the podcast, go to AntelopeHillPublishing.com and be sure to use promo code FIGHTBACK. That'll save you money and support me. Thank you. It works so well with the political parties to divide people. It's just shocking how like 90% of people will jump on either side and they can't.
And that's the entire goal.
Well, remember like Democrats were anti-war and then they were pro-war with Ukraine. That's why I started kind of identifying with the right. I was always didn't want these pointless wars. I was pro-free speech. Then Israel happened and then all of a sudden we're pro-war now. Now we're anti-free speech. So I'm like, oh, I guess I'm not a Republican.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's so crazy when you think about that. You like think about the juxtapositions here of like, look at COVID. Remember the don't tread on me crowd, the conservatives, like, hey, having to show a COVID card to travel, to come into a restaurant. Remember how many people were like,
I was in San Francisco.
The audacity of that. But those same people now are cheering on ICE being able to roll up to an American citizen and ask you for your papers. They can roll up to me or you and be like, you got your passport on you?
Yeah.
And if we're like, no, they could be like, get in the fucking car.
There's one where they arrested some kid who was a citizen. They drop him off like
they've been doing it with
away.
veterans. They deported a combat veteran.
I thought the right was pro fucking veteran.
But that's my point. It's like you have
no consistency. And I'm all for deporting people, but not like citizens. And
I am too. I'm pretty far right on immigration. Like I do want the deportations to happen, but also, how about like? You said you were going to go after criminals. How come there's no videos of ICE in gang-ridden neighborhoods? Why is there there's no ICE and shootouts in Chicago?
They're all the gangbangers. They have these Salvadorians, teenagers, sell the drugs because I think they let them right out. They're all up there still. Send them to fucking San Francisco. Get those little gangbangers.
But they're not doing that every time. And this is like the optics of it are so bad. It's like every time you see it, it's some Home Depot parking lot or it's some suburban neighborhood, and you're like,
there's a teenager they arrested, like a 16 or 17-year-old. They pulled out of some store who's an American citizen.
Yeah, and they're yanking some like 40-year-old Hispanic woman out of her car that was just getting off her job at the taco shop, and you're like, now. Did they come here illegally? Should they have to leave? Yeah, maybe.
But at least go after the gangsters first. Get some optics.
Because trust me,
don't be fucking
retarded. We all know that like that's still a huge fucking problem in this country. The crime is horrible. Like it's not gotten a whole lot better. So like, where's the videos of that?
Yeah, no, 100%. If you want good optics, go after the fucking gangbangers. Go do I literally could go to San Francisco and tell you where all the Salvadorians and Mexican gangs are.
Well, and I'm sure they know.
The cops know. They exactly know. They go, this block is black gangs. This block is Salvadorian. This is Mexican. You know, even walk through this a little bit.
And so the question should be like, how did Clinton do it? Clinton deported 10 million people. Bush deported almost 10 million people. Obama deported 4.1 million people. How did they do it without?
Yeah, better with optics. You can't send ICE shooting people cheering it on.
No.
And now it got way worse after that. People were cheering it on, but now they can't do shit. And these people, the left does have more balls to stand up. They're out there with guns and like.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny to me too. I'm seeing I'm seeing that. Not that like I'm supporting what they're doing in the protests. And
No,
the
I don't
riots,
support it, but it shows they have balls.
But I saw a bunch of pictures of dudes down in Minneapolis, a couple black guys with AR-15s just chilling at the protests, and all of the reaction from the conservative right was like, look at these left-wing terrorists and out in the street with their guns, and I'm like,
if it's right-wing guys,
I'm like,
it,
well, what I'm like, what do you mean? He's out there exercising his Second Amendment rights. Mm-hmm. Isn't that what we?
Yeah, we have to have consistency.
Isn't that what we
views.
support?
Exactly.
Because if it was a right-wing protest and guys are down there with guns, which they are all the time, everybody thinks that's awesome.
No, exactly. But then,
and which I have no problem with. Look, this is America. I'm hardcore on fundamental rights. If you want to carry your weapon around, I got no problem with that.
No, that's why I started carrying after it got a little controversial. All my friends were carrying. I'm like, you know what? I should carry a gun with me.
Yeah.
And you realize I need to learn to shoot better still. Have you teach me maybe, but you learn like, yeah, I'm okay with it, but I need to get a lot more competent with my gun. With my hands, I am, but I can kill someone quick with my hands, but I want to be able to get it from a distance.
Yeah, well, but I mean, even for fighters, man, it's like you never know what type of situation you're going to be in where somebody else has a gun. Somebody else
exactly. Yeah, sure, I can kill someone with my bare hands, but someone might have a gun or a knife or a knife. I'd probably could front kick them, but
but like, do you even want to risk that in your situation?
Someone pulled a knife. One guy pulled a knife. Thought about it for a second, and I fucking ditched out. I'm like, should I go after this guy? I'm like, no, I'm gonna bounce. That was a long time ago,
dude. Like, why would you even put yourself?
Not worth it. There was no reason for the fucking thing, anyways.
Somebody's gonna pull a weapon out and try to kill you with it. Like, it's just a lot better to just have your own gun. And
then I could have been like, hey, motherfucker.
We're gonna escalation.
So cool now.
Escalation of force on that one.
Well, if something goes off, it's good to have the guns. That's why I need to get better at shooting. So if there's a shooting, if tons of people had guns, there'd be less of these mass shootings.
Well, we know that statistically because if you go to areas with you can actually you can look at it at Europe. A great way you can look at it in Europe is this was at least a couple years ago. I don't know if the statistics are the same. I'm sure they are, but the country with the highest civilian gun ownership per capita is Switzerland.
Wow.
And it always has been because Switzerland's always been a neutral country, so it's always been the idea. They've always been like in the middle of world wars, but not partaking.
They're always neutral,
But they've always wanted to be able to. Like our entire populace has to be able to defend this country if need be.
And it's very mountainous too.
Yeah, and so it's part of their culture that like kids learn how to use firearms when they're like 5 years old, and like everyone owns firearms.
There's like no mass shootings there.
No, there's no gun violence.
Interesting.
But if you go to the UK where there's no guns and the police don't even have guns, they have the highest violent crime rate.
Lots of knife attacks there, right?
Highest violent crime rate in Europe. And then Switzerland has the lowest violent crime rate in Europe. And then obviously this country has the lowest civilian gun ownership. And that's just Europe. But you can do that in areas in the United States as well. If you go to areas in Texas, rural areas in Texas that have
guns, yeah.
Are you going to roll into a church in Texas, rural Texas, and try to shoot that church up?
No.
You could. Well, you could.
Yeah.
But like we've seen that happen before, and like people get smoked immediately.
Right. Like I had family in Texas when we were going as a kid, and they're all like, all the women were carrying guns in their purses and stuff. Even it's like, whoa, I wasn't used to seeing that.
Yeah, and I guess it's a deterrent. You know what I mean? But I'm big on civilian gun ownership.
Well, that's why
sure.
I bought my daughter guns out in Texas. I'm like,
our whole
have a gun
shoots.
on you. You know, like need to get shooting better. But it's
especially women, man.
No, that's why I want her. She was in LA for a while, like homeless. You couldn't carry it there, but like crackheads coming after her. It was like scary. Like, you know, no one does anything. The crackheads chase you. Texas, at least you can carry a gun.
Well, and that's why I'm so big on female gun ownership. Is it's like it's also just because women are a softer target, and I don't mean that doesn't mean they can't be badass. What I mean is like just. If you're somebody looking to commit a crime on someone,
a woman's easy. Yeah,
there's two people walking down the street. You're gonna assault.
See me and you, or a girl.
It's me or you.
They're not going for us.
Two big ass fucking men walking down, or are they gonna wait for the 100-pound girl by herself that's walking down the street? Well, that's the softer target. So they're much more likely to be put in a position to need to defend themselves, and comparatively. So like my point is. You and I are far less likely to be attacked.
I bet no one ever messes with you, right? I feel like they know. I can go through the worst areas. I've never had any conflict. And when people are causing problems, like defuse it sometimes, they tell you not to. People always, would they act tough for a second? When I calmly tell them I'm going to fuck them up, they're always like, all right. They might see my ears. Maybe it's the demeanor. I don't know. But like,
no,
they would never fuck with me in the bad areas. I'm still not going to go to the worst, like fucking hood, of course.
Yeah,
I have been, but I'm going to try to.
Your ears by themselves are always.
I think it's how you carry yourself and stuff. People kind of know who are targets. And I know people have been robbed like a couple times, and like.
No, never.
They look around at people and they see like the demeanor, the way they carry themselves. I think. Like, I wouldn't look at you and be like, I'm gonna go rob this guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could though, right? Like, this is what's funny is, but also even for,
But I'm gonna go for someone easier. Why do I go for someone that looks like they're fucking confident, gonna fight?
if you don't know, even as like someone who's highly trained
you might
fighter,
have a gun.
I'm a big dude, and you're looking at me going, well, like, I don't know who this guy is. Nate, he could know how to fight,
Exactly.
or or maybe he doesn't, or he's got a gun,
Yeah,
and so.
Have you done a lot of hand-to-hand combat training, or a little bit?
So yeah, I do quite a bit of Muay Thai.
Nice.
For stand up, and then I do obviously a lot of shooting.
Yeah,
but for martial arts, pretty much all Muay Thai and boxing.
They don't do enough, and I guess you don't really need it, but they don't. I feel like they should do more like jiu-jitsu and hand-to-hand.
Did I tell people this? We do now. It's as a hobby.
Yeah, some guys do. Yeah.
First group, it's really popular because even it's not Hoist Gracie. Maybe it is Hoist Gracie. One of the Gracies will come to first group and trains a lot of guys.
Hoist is a friend of mine, a great guy. It might be Hoist.
Yeah, I think it might be Hoist. I think it's
he
Hoist.
does that, but I'm not positive. It could be Hinner or Gracie too.
There's so many
Hinner
of them.
Hodger. They're like the Marleys. There's like a million Gracies. Some I like, some I don't.
But so it's really popular in first group. Also, it's like an Asian martial arts culture. So jiu-jitsu is really popular. Like we do have our own jiu-jitsu gyms, and like we have our own like MMA fight competitions and stuff at group. But it's more of like a hobby, right? For like some guys do it, some guys don't. But from actual training standpoint,
very little. Huh?
Some like judo because but I mean, like, I'm operating firearms.
Yeah.
And so the idea is like, if in combat, if I am in a position where I have to fight you hand to hand, I'm in like the worst position. I'm in like the worst day of my life. Because
you don't want someone touching you. Yeah.
No, and also I've got a gun.
You carry a knife as well.
Oh yeah.
So that you try to draw that if someone grabs you.
Yeah. So
or shoot them.
Also sidearm. So we always have 2 weapon systems on us. But my point being of like, I've got a team with me, and so if I'm in a position where my guns are down, I don't have my guns, I don't have my teammates, like
a lot went wrong.
A lot went wrong, right? So
you fucked up really bad.
There's not usually like the biggest need for it. Also, and realistically downrange for us in like Iraq and Afghanistan, and like we're detaining people all the time because not everybody is an armed combatant. Like when we go into these villages, you'll have 30, 40, 50 male villagers.
And you don't know
that aren't Taliban. Well, sometimes you're trying to figure it out. Sometimes they're armed, sometimes they're not.
Trying to figure out who's.
And so you're detaining people, and like we're cuffing people. It's called a MAM train. MAM is a military age male. We call them MAM trains, where we're like, you might have a train of like 20, 30 dudes like in front of us that are like going compound to compound or behind.
They're the ones working.
They come with us the entire objective.
Because they can speak the language, they know the culture, they understand things more.
Yeah, but I mean, we're detaining all these people because even if they aren't armed, I can't leave you back behind me. Yeah. If you're a military-age male and we keep moving forward to clear, and I leave you back here, you got a gun stash, and now you're shooting us in the back. So like everyone we come across, either if they're a combatant, is getting taken care of, or is coming with us. And so there is a lot of situations where you're physically having to. Deal with grown men, but at the same time,
learning chokes is like the best. I think they teach you guys chokes. That's by far the easiest way.
So there are a lot, like that's what I meant, like a lot of like more judo and more of like being able to like
locks, choke,
all that type of stuff. We do. But what was I going to say with that? Oh, but I was going to say, but at the same time, and like that in that culture, it's like the average dude that I'm detaining is like 125 pounds.
So it's easy, yeah.
He's a half my size, right? Because they're talking about giant American dudes and like these not malnourished, but like
their diet's not
Afghanis living in the middle of the desert, right? Yeah. Like so, like, and none of them are trained UFC fighters either. Yeah. So there's not a lot that's really. It's not like we're fighting the Russians, right? We're like, there's some tough, dude my size.
A lot of those dudes train too.
Some Spetsnaz dudes my size. I'm all of a sudden in a knife fight with in a trench.
Chechnya or Dagestan, bro. Like
that's a lot. That's a lot.
I was just in a hairy situation with a bunch of Chechens and Dagestanis, bro. They all know how to fucking fight. There's like 100 of them with like me and Nate Diaz in Thailand, bro. Dude. Oh my god, it was so sketch getting out of there. All these fuckers could like fight.
Yeah.
We were outnumbered like about fucking 100, like 4 of them. Like, oh my god, this is a fucking sketch. You've probably been around the Chechens at all, or no? They're fucking
no. Well, we haven't been around Chechens, but
they're rough.
But well, actually, like there has been times where U.S. service members or like I think there's two famous ones in Syria where Russian Wagner group and Chechens with the Syrians got in shootouts with Delta Force. I don't know if Brent told you about this.
No, he didn't.
Delta Force and Rangers, and they killed, I don't know, I think they killed 140 Chechens and Syrians and lost 0.
Wow, that's impressive because Chechens are pretty tough. That's impressive.
Yeah, Delta lost 0. They killed everybody.
Wow,
that was like,
good.
But it was like one of those.
That's crazy.
Because Syria,
Chechens are tough.
Syria before the fall of Assad was so wild because you had the civil war. You also had Russia there. So like Wagner Group was there because they were obviously trying to help Assad. But then you had America there, 2 different capacities. You had America there with the CIA arming one group of rebels. And you had American Special Operations with the Ranger Battalion and Delta Force that were arming and leading a different group of rebels.
Oh, that's so
crazy. There was like 5 different...
They were just causing chaos.
5 different factions. At some point, you had the CIA-backed rebels fighting the Department of Defense-backed rebels.
Oh, my God.
We armed both and we're just fighting each other. And then
insane.
You would have some situations where, because there was Russians and Wagner Group, like that cross... But also, like, the Russians were trying to deal with the Islamic terrorism too, because they're backing Assad.
They fight some of it too, yeah.
But then the CIA is funding the Islamic Sunni,
and Israel's treating the prisoners.
Well, and Israel's also funding the Sunni.
They're helping
groups.
ISIS, yeah.
They're helping ISIS, right? Which ISIS is trying to overthrow Assad. So it's like
it's just a
Syria
mess.
Syria was like 6, 7, 8 different factions all.
And it was a nice country before. I had friends that lived there. They said Assad was fine. It was beautiful. Like everything was fine.
About going back to the advent of like modern humanity and society, Syria has always been one of the.
I wanted to visit that place. It's one of the most.
Iraq, Syria, all these places were like way ahead of the rest of the world for thousands of years.
Exactly. Before Europe really took off. And
even up until 1900, man. Like the Middle East, like the Ottoman Empire, the Persian Empire, like very, very different situation until after World War I, and we see the entire global paradigm shift
once Israel went there. Well, it wasn't the Ottoman Empire. They fought against it, right? I think was it World War I? I'm not sure which war. Basically, we told them that they were going to give the Palestinians the land they give the land back to them. I think they fought was it Lawrence of Arabia or something. So England go, yeah, you can have your land back. But then they also gave Rothschilds, the atheist Jewish banker, they told him he could have the land.
1913, I think, is when they developed a plan for that.
Yeah, that was so he said he could bring America into the war. Why could this guy bring America into the war? Interesting, right? Just the power they have.
But I mean, it's like you go back and you're like, dude, you look at that and you're like, that was 100+ years ago, and it was the exact same thing we're seeing happen right now. And like even now with the Rothschilds, why did we just invade Venezuela? Probably. Why are we threatening to bomb Iran? Why are we threatening Cuba? Because they're the last 3 countries besides North Korea, which they got nukes.
Yeah,
so that's not going to happen.
You see why they want nukes now?
They're the last 3 countries outside of North Korea that don't have a Rothschild central bank.
That's crazy.
That's it. They're the last 3, and they're the 3 countries.
Insane. And all the other ones we've already taken over.
Yeah, because we already in Libya, Syria, Sudan.
We knocked out. There was a list the guy gave like 7 countries after 9/11.
Iraq.
We took out 6 of them already, I think.
Yeah.
And none of them had the
only 3 left.
Banks.
The only 3 left are the 3 that we're threatening to invade.
Crazy once you see that, you realize how powerful it is. You know, if you guess you can print money out of thin air and charge interest, that's pretty nice.
We're not threatening to invade Cambodia for the problems with communism right now at the border of Thailand.
Yeah, they're like in some
slaughtering people left and right. We're not doing anything about Nigeria. Yeah. We're not doing anything about Sudan. Why?
Yeah. How funny is it seeing guys like Mark Levine, Ben Shapiro be like, they killed people in Iran. Like, you guys just committed a fucking genocide, and now you're pretending like you care about dead Muslims. It's those
Mark
people.
Levine, who literally cheered and laughed at somebody making a comment about Palestinian children being maimed and dismembered. Laughed.
Disgusting.
He is going to lecture us and tell us how important it is to save the Iranian people. That guy. Lindsey Graham.
Oh
Lindsey Graham is going to tell us how important it is for us to liberate the Iranian people.
He's a psychopath. You can see he just loves killing. And I think he's got a thing for little kids or something.
Oh,
he just
dude,
looks like
the amount of gay
you can just
blackmail that they have on him has got to be extreme.
I think he also just loves killing and stuff too, though. He wants all
He's
these
a psycho,
total psychopath.
All these people do, man. And to me, it's so crazy. It's like all of these people that are salivating to go continue these forever wars, none of them fought the global war on terror.
Yeah, or have their kids sign up.
The entire Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, all these little fuckers, like can't get ahead of themselves fast enough to bomb these countries.
Yeah.
But like to your point, they didn't fucking serve. Their kids didn't serve. None of these politicians' kids are going to war. And so it's always the people that never fought the war that are the ones that are like dying.
Yeah. They don't mind you going out and dying and killing people, but they have no problem losing guys like you, but they're not going to send their own people.
No.
They said Israel's not sending one fucking soldier.
Nope.
And they go over and fucking bomb it with jets and drones that we give them.
No medical supplies,
right.
No logistics, no troops.
Well, I looked up. Does Israel?
They didn't even let us use their country to. Let me explain to you this. This is how fucked up this really is. Because people want to talk shit about Qatar, right? Now, during the entire global war on terror, how come I didn't travel through Israel to get into country?
Yeah, they won't let you.
They wouldn't let us.
They won't let Americans come there.
They wouldn't let Americans.
They're helping them fight.
Right.
I looked it up. And
so you know what we had to do? I traveled into Qatar. Every time we would go into Afghanistan or Iraq, that's how we went in. A Muslim nation is what facilitated and allowed us to fight the global war on terror. They didn't even let us use their bases.
Yeah, I looked it up, and though there's at first like they allow me. Like really, and I started doing more digging. There's a couple that only do missile defense only for Israel, so they can't do anything else. They're completely monitored. It's not independent. They're there only to fight for Israel, to give them weapons, to use their labor, to bomb
the Patriot
people.
Missile systems.
So we can't have any independent military there.
Yep.
And then they just completely fuck us.
Yeah.
Give billions of dollars, can't have one soldier unless it's fighting for them.
And the entire global war on terror, it was planned before 9/11, right? 1997.
I have my opinions of who I think did. I've gone pretty deep on 9/11. There's a lot. Well, lot of ties to Israel.
Whatever we think with that, I'm with you on that. I believe that too.
So many ties.
You can look in 1997, the clean break strategy developed by Israel and given to Benjamin Netanyahu, which was for us to overthrow 7 countries in 7 years, and we know those countries were Iraq. Not Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Sudan, Libya, Lebanon, and the final one we haven't
is
Iran. And so that strategy was developed 4 years before 9/11, and the second 9/11 happens, it's turned on. What do we do immediately? We develop a plan to invade Iraq.
Which wasn't involved
in
9/11,
Osama bin Laden supposedly planned the attacks from Kandahar.
From a cave.
from a compound in Kandahar. I've seen it.
It wasn't from a cave, it was from a compound, huh?
Yeah.
Is that the one where he supposedly got killed?
This is in Kandahar. So this was before we ever invaded, right?
And he denied doing it initially until like years later, if that was even him.
He denied it and denounced it from the beginning.
Yeah.
And so, but my point is, 9/11 happens, and we immediately develop plans to invade Iraq.
Yeah, it was.
What does Saddam Hussein have to do with 9/11?
They're opposite. Muslim.
Literally nothing.
Yeah, I get it mixed up. One Sunni, one Shiite. They're opposite. They're enemies.
Yeah, Saddam's government was Sunni. Now, obviously, they have a big Shia population in Iraq too. But again, my point is like we immediately used I don't know if you want to call it a false flag or not, to do what?
We know who's done a lot of false flag
attacks. To carry out the entire strategy that Benjamin Netanyahu, 2002, showed up to Congress. I'm sure you've seen the clips.
Yep, demanding
and basically saying that Saddam Hussein obviously had weapons of mass destruction, and if we remove Saddam, then that way it would facilitate the chain effect where we could remove all of those other governments.
Freedom will spread across the Middle East.
Freedom will ring, right? And so we know we carried all of that out on behest of Israel, and it was planned. It was planned years before we ever did it. And then we used 9/11 as a catalyst to go, now we have the drummed up patriotism, we have the Islamophobia, we have everything we need to get the American people, because what we learned from Vietnam is you can't win the war if the people turn on you.
Yeah.
And the Americans turned on the Vietnam War. We saw that obviously with the anti-Vietnam protests and everything. And so they learned we've got to do it through patriotism and get the Americans on board, then we can go and do whatever we want.
It worked so well.
And it's happening right now,
They're pushing the anti-Islam thing again. Before real quick, I want to go, the Patriot Act, that was also pre-written. That was written by, co-written by Michael Chertoff, dual citizen with Israel.
Yep.
He's the one that got the dancing Israelis out.
Yep.
He also had machines in airports to scan you.
Yep.
So they get rich off it. They have it all pre-written.
And what do we see right now? What's happening? That's the Patriot Act on steroids, Palantir system.
Oh, that's where it gets scary. The AI.
Which is Owned by who?
Who owns
Peter
that?
Thiel and Alex Karp.
Yeah, no, these are some nasty. Peter Thiel is like, he owns JD Vance. That's why it's scary. If Trump, I hate Trump, but if he gets out, Vance barely seems like a real person.
And I mean, where is Palantir's biggest system being used right now? By the IDF.
They have kill lists. I'm sure they have them in America too. They have kill
lists.
Oh
yeah. We're on it.
I asked Chat, or one in the chat was like, what would my kill score go?
You're
and
on
he goes,
the bad boy list.
I can't give that. And he goes, because hypothetically, I was on the fucking list in the top 50. I go,
of course you are.
Fuck. He goes, make me a hypothetical list, and I was like on there. I'm like, holy shit! And it was guys like Edward Snowden, Julian Assange, and then I saw my name in there. I'm like,
well, there was
so many anti-Israel people.
You've been sort of way ahead of the curve on
this. I was
this.
early, which sucked. I didn't want
because
to be one of the earliest,
you were before even October 7th, weren't you? Because you were criticizing October 7th
before then. Yeah,
when
on
that
day. Yeah, I lost a lot of followers that day.
Yeah, but you've been proven right.
I wasn't supporting what they were doing, but I knew what they were doing to the Palestinians. I meant to Israel. It's like, this is complicated. Is all I was saying. People just flipped out on me. The propaganda was so strong, and it's.
You know what's interesting about?
Thank God, a lot more people are speaking up now.
What's interesting about October 7th? We know October 7th was.
Yeah, they let the people.
False flag, like it's or let to happen. It's not even. Nobody is. Even Charlie Kirk was talking about that, right?
And he got shot.
That's
we
true.
should maybe get into that in a few minutes, actually, too.
Yeah, but there's like I forget what we were just talking about.
Oh, the October 7th, how they.
Through, so right? October 7th is so interesting to me because I wasn't even really thinking about the whole Israel thing. October 7th happened. I was in the initial like how terrible this is.
Yeah.
Pro-Israel, and then for me, where that shift happened, and it happened quickly, is just with my own eyes, just watching what was happening in Gaza as someone who did.
Because you know what it should be. So people are like, well, America did it too.
No, we didn't.
Like that.
No, we fucking didn't. And that's what turned me is that
you didn't go put women's clothing on after you killed the family.
I did counterterrorism operations. I know what they look like. I wasn't allowed to indiscriminately bomb whatever I wanted. I wasn't allowed because there's human shields.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay.
I'm just shoot that kid.
Yeah, I'll just shoot the kid, or I'll just drop on the building anyway. Like none of that was allowed to happen. We had to operate like I just told you. Yeah. Civilians everywhere. Like I've got to be able to, handle that situation, pull the civilians out, actually still deal with the terrorist combatants, and so. Or it's war crimes.
Yeah.
Or we go to fucking jail for the rest of our lives as U.S. soldiers. Like we take that seriously. People maybe think, oh, all these special operators out there being cowboys. Like, no, we're not. It's like the most professional war fighting in the world. Yeah. And so if we were able to do that so successfully with almost zero civilian casualties, like at the counterterrorism surgical level, early Iraq is a little bit different because we decided to just bomb everybody, right? But from the actual dealing with ISIS or the Taliban, like we were never allowed to have that approach.
To start bombing neighborhoods.
We couldn't just
the whole country.
If we would have just killed 50,000 civilians at a time in Afghanistan, like, dude,
you'd be hated, and rightfully so.
Well, all of us would be in prison.
Yeah.
And so the fact that I know what this looks like, and then I saw what they were doing in Gaza, I went, oh. No, this isn't war. This isn't counterterrorism. This isn't counterinsurgency. This is genocide. They're just indiscriminately fucking killing everybody.
It's crazy that more military people can't see that. Some do, but I feel like anyone who's fought like that should look at that and be like,
a lot. So again, like we were kind of talking about beforehand, a lot have shifted this way.
That's good.
A lot have, but a lot of global war terror on veterans do just still have a lot of anger, and that Islam is the enemy.
I guess it's hard to get the brain
because you went and fought that war.
You don't want to admit you were wrong, but they're literally sniping children on purpose. It's like they're just sick to range.
Oh yeah.
It's just a sick to range. Like the shit they do is just.
And how you could
beyond evil that you can rationalize.
How you can defend that, especially as a combat veteran who's done this, had to fight combat operations or go to war, in having to do it under the Geneva Convention and the laws of land warfare that we do, and then you turn and watch that. To your point of like I'm watching video of like hordes of Palestinian people trying to, with my own eyes. Trying to get like food and supplies as they're huddled in corners as the IDF are just shooting bullets into the berms around them as they're all huddled like this. I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at right now?
It's insanity. It's hard to believe it's real if I didn't have all the fucking videos.
But it is real.
Yeah, people will try to say it's fake, but it's not. It's like
Well, and even a lot of the people even some of the people I've debated won't even try to say it's fake anymore. If I like to show them the flyover.
A lot of them won't even like look through like these Telegram channels and shit. And then I had to stop looking at them.
I'll just show them the flyover drone footage of Gaza. Show the flyover drone footage of Gaza. Anybody, if you haven't seen this, watch it. There's no more Gaza.
Yeah, they just demolished it all.
It looks like Hiroshima.
Yeah, they bombed every fucking house, not caring if there's women and children.
It's all gone.
Then they would tell them to move, then fucking bomb the tents. I think that's when Dan lost it. When they told him to go, then they bombed the tents. That's when he's like, I can't stay quiet anymore. Like, you tell these people to fuck, they have nowhere to go. It's locked in. It's like walled off. I think it's like 30 miles long.
It's an open air prison.
They can't, usually you could flee. The women and children could flee a war. They can't go. They go somewhere, then they bomb. They go here, they bomb them.
Yeah.
They arrest them and they rape the fucking male prisoners, women too. They're gang raping. They had riots to fucking pro-gang rape riots because initially they arrested some of the Israeli guys. Yeah. They raped to get them out. Then the guys became TV stars. It's fucking sick.
Yeah.
Imagine like shamefully after Iraq, the guys in what was the prison called? Where they tortured the guys and humiliated them. Those guys went to jail.
Down in Cuba?
Guada. That was a shameful. That was a shameful moment for America.
Yeah.
The people went to jail and.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's like. I mean, you know what's so crazy? It's like Eddie Gallagher, who I'm buddies with. I don't know if you know his story, Navy SEAL, who the Biden administration tried to put him in prison for life for war crimes, and he eventually beat it. But that was over one combatant detainee. So I believe it was either an ISIS fighter or Al Qaeda fighter died in custody of the Navy SEAL team, and that by itself, they tried to put him in jail for the rest of his life because he was the commander.
They didn't even know what happened with it exactly.
And that was an enemy combatant. That wasn't some 4-year-old girl that they shot in the face.
There was that one girl she was on a call, and she called because her parents just got killed, and they circled and shot it like hundreds of times. I guess the guy that ordered that is an American citizen, a Jewish guy, a dual citizen.
Yeah, and so what I wanted to bring it back to is with Israel on October 7th is they actually had, that could have, and even if it was false flagged, that could have been Israel's 9/11 moment to the world. Israel could have been the darling of the world after that, had they used that correctly and actually didn't then commit genocide, but actually went about, trying to do strategic surgical counterterrorism operations, letting in journalists, letting in all the aid. But here's my point. Like, let's say they did all that the right way. They could have had the entire world on their side. But what did they do? They did what their culture is all about, which is, in my opinion, evil and demonic and violent.
Deny that now, what we've seen.
And so instead of becoming the darling of the world, they've completely exposed themselves, and now 2 years later, the entire discussion is different.
No, the entire world.
The entire world outside of
America, and a lot of America's turning on them. The right split, the left's turned on them. Some of these evangelical Christians, it's like, I don't think Jesus was like blowing girls' arms off. Have you ever been on the Telegram channels of some of these Israelis? No. It'll be a girl with missing arms, like, haha, she can't hug her terrorist father now. It's just like, it makes me sick.
That's so crazy, dude.
Yeah, these people are so fucking deranged.
And and to your point, it is always the evangelicals and I'm watching it with like the Renee Good thing, right? It's like if for me, depending on your opinion, if your opinion is it was justified and you want to defend the ICE officers, but you think it was a terrible situation, I'm fine with that.
I can understand that.
I'm fine with that opinion.
But they're cheering it on.
I don't agree with that opinion, but I'm fine with that opinion. I think that you could look at it that way, and you could still say this is horrible for the country. This is horrible, but at the same time, I support the ICE officer in this. That's different than like when I'm seeing people like making those types of memes, like showing her fucking up in heaven with like getting laughed at by Charlie Kirk and shit. And you're like, what? Weren't you the same people that threw the biggest temper tantrums ever about people making fun of Charlie Kirk?
I was upset about that too.
I was pissed about that too.
I wasn't a fan of Charlie Kirk. Yeah, maybe he was coming around.
It was gross then.
It's gross now,
and it's gross in all these other situations too. But it's like those same people, the same people defending pedophiles,
the pro-pedophile people.
It's the evangelical Christian MAGAs that are like, "Hey, now we're defending pedophiles, and we think it's funny that American citizens are being shot in the face in the street." And it's like, for me, I'm just like, what?
Yeah, like I definitely I'm not voting, or if I do, I might vote Democrat just to say fuck you to them. I mean, I hate the Democrats, but I'm just so sick of these people. It's like they've gone so insane. They serve Israel. foreign wars, potentially taking Greenland. We have our Europe's up there doing military drills right now in case we invade Greenland. Like, what? We're maybe going to go to fucking war with Europe?
Yeah.
It's like we're the new Soviet Union, like trying to take land, and it's insane.
It's almost like we're trying to divide the world up into this like three-pronged regional system where United States owns the Western Hemisphere, Russia gets to, and it's almost like America's policy on this is like, hey, we're going to let these things happen too. So the United States gets to keep the Western Hemisphere. Russia basically takes the Northeastern Hemisphere. China takes the Southeastern Hemisphere and the South China Sea and everything involved in that. And like we just go to this three-prong Soviet Union era Cold War style regional system. And it's like, is that really like where we want to move to?
I thought we were in a better
future?
place. It doesn't seem. Well, the shitty part is we're not going to get any of the Venezuelan oil. I still wouldn't support it, but if we were like getting, they say they have like trillions, like 18 trillion or something. If they were going to give us that money, then like, okay, I still want to support it, but at least you could rationalize it. But no, we ain't getting any of it.
Let's talk about that. So this is so funny what people that don't really understand what's happening with Venezuela and their oil. So what Americans need to understand about Venezuela is we're not actually there to take any of that oil. What Venezuela has is heavy crude. And so American oil executives like Chevron, Exxon, Mobil, they already have all of the $1 trillion infrastructure built out in Canada because Canada also has primarily heavy crude. And so and the United States, the oil companies already told Trump, like, Venezuela's uninvestable, bud. We're not interested. So what they want to do with Venezuela is basically limit and cut off production of heavy crude. So that way the American oil, it's higher profits in Canada because now Canadian heavy crude doesn't have to compete with the Venezuelan oil market.
So we're going to pay more, not
so
less.
The profits are going to fucking ramp up, and we're actually just going to limit the amount of oil coming out of Venezuela. That way, oil conglomerates don't have that competition. Because why would they go try to invest $1 trillion into infrastructure in Venezuela with, again, we don't even know what's going on. The Maduro regime is still in power.
No, that people don't realize. We didn't take them out. It's just
the military, Venezuelan military, is still being controlled by Maduro's regime. Like they own the oil.
Nothing changed.
We own nothing in Venezuela. I know people.
They just kidnapped the guys.
We kidnapped the leader. We don't control the oil. We don't control anything. But we now potentially have the ability to, through embargoes, we'll just shut down the oil leaving Venezuela. So that way, the American-owned Canadian heavy crude. Industry.
I bet there's some Jewish
it's just going to be jacking the prices up. And so it's like, and people who are cheering this on, like, yeah, America.
We just took all that oil. So we didn't take shit.
But it's like, the American citizen that's, blue collar worker, the day to day, just like all of us, right? Like we call ourselves, I would say, middle class Americans, right? Lower middle class Americans. What do you think you're going to get from that system?
Yeah, they're not going to get shit.
You're going to get fucking nothing from that.
Yeah.
And so why would you? But the Venezuelan people are going to be worse off.
Yeah.
Because the Maduro regime is just still going to stay in power. But also,
it could go into chaos too. We don't know.
But also now they're not even going to have that oil industry.
So they're really going to be poor.
Yeah, they're going to be really fucking poor now.
We see there's this chick, Machado. She wants to be president, and Trump was maybe going to install her. But he was mad that she won the Nobel Peace Prize instead of him, so she went and had to give it to him. I don't know why he's so obsessed.
Was that not the most?
And then he's put it on his wall. Like, could you imagine if
so embarrassing? That's like
if you made me give him a belt or a award you had in the military. If you gave it to me and I put it on my wall, and I'm
if you gifted me your UFC belt or I gifted you my Valor Award,
it would be cool, but I wouldn't act like it was mine. I'd be like, what a dope thing to hang up.
But he's acting like he won it. It would be like you being like gifting me a UFC belt, and I wore it. And I'm like, no, I'm the former UFC champion.
Yeah, he's literally saying he got a Nobel Peace Prize now. He's insane.
And you're like, no, you're not. You're just the guy who got gifted a participation trophy.
Yeah, he's fighting with Norway, I guess, because they didn't nominate him. I didn't quite understand the full thing.
I just saw that this morning,
but I don't know the details of it. But apparently he freaked out on Norway because they didn't nominate him. Like, you're bombing everything.
Yeah.
He's been obsessed with these Nobel Peace Prizes for years. Like Benjamin Netanyahu gave him top Jew of the Year award.
Yeah,
the first non-Jew to get it.
The Israel prize.
Yeah, and he's like, "Well, can I get a Nobel Peace Prize?"
Also, the FIFA prize.
What's
remember that? You didn't see that?
Is that one of those top Jew awards too?
No. So FIFA, the soccer organization, this was like 3 months ago. They gifted him the FIFA Peace Prize. It wasn't a real thing. They made it up
for him.
It was the first time.
Stoked.
It was.
But he really just wants a Nobel Peace Prize. It's just so weird. He got one from that chick, and now he's acting like it's his.
Yeah, but I mean, the funniest thing is the Nobel Peace Prize is non-transferable. It's by definition the Nobel Peace Prize Association will have already said.
So I can't take your valor or your
it's
medals.
non-transferable. So it's like literally Donald Trump now has Maria Machado's Nobel Peace Prize. It's not Trump's. It's not gifted to him. He just has her Nobel Peace Prize in his office.
And MAGA will say this is cool. Yeah, he took her Nobel Prize. But, like, why would you want it when you didn't make it?
And also,
It's
like,
pathetic.
how pathetic on her part, dude.
I know.
Like,
she looked pathetic anyways to begin with. Like, who wants her to run your country? But she really wants him to install her. So she gave over. Someone asked her on a thing because I guess it would leak that he was mad that she had it. So he's like, yeah, I'll share it with him. Then she went and presented it to him. The whole thing is just a mockery.
It's
MAGA. And then you have like Dan Bongino. How do you say his name? Oh my God.
Oh, Dan Bongino.
That guy is
Tough guy. Tough guy Bongino.
I'm going to expose the Epstein files. Then he gets in there and he gets out and he's like, I'm going to go after the guys that want to expose the Epstein files.
Yeah,
he's literally attacking Massey and the guys.
Has he blocked you yet?
Surprisingly not, which is shocking because I think I've only commented like once or twice. I'm blocked from so many accounts on Twitter.
Dan Bongino's got it's trending on Twitter right now. It's like blocked by Bongino.
He
and
blocks
it's like,
everyone.
It's all these like prominent content creators who are like showing pictures of him being blocked by him. But it's like, dude, with him, he was like the tough guy. I'm gonna bring down the deep state. Like that was his I never listened
to him,
right?
but that's what I hear. Yeah.
No, it is. That was his thing. Is like all he talked about was the Epstein files and you know going after these pedos and getting accountability. So that was his whole shtick, right? Like my shtick is like the Green Beret shtick. Yours is the USC fighter shtick. His shtick was I'm going to bring down the deep state. That was his shtick. And then he went in to bring down the deep state.
Yeah.
And then immediately he's caught sending emails basically offering to do whatever he can possibly do to help redact the Epstein files.
I didn't see those emails.
Yeah, I put those out.
Ago?
I did a video on that.
Oh shit, I missed that.
Yeah, so that was like him before he even got sworn in.
That was a while ago.
He's been redacting the Epstein files for 10 months.
See, I thought he resigned because he couldn't take it anymore and he was going to speak out, but instead he started attacking guys like me and you.
He finally resigns 10 months later, right before the Epstein 48 hours before the Epstein files drop.
Or didn't drop, they were due, like legally.
And then again, after his entire shtick being, I'm going to bring down the deep state, to your point, he gets out of the FBI and immediately gets on Twitter and is like, I'm going to bring down all the guys
Thomas Massey, the guy who had the vote to release the Epstein files.
Yeah, I'm going to bring down all the guys who are trying to bring down the deep state. That's like he went from...
Now, could you imagine,
that's his
could you imagine
now.
being a fan of that guy now? How
I don't know.
dumb do you got to be Dan?
I don't
say his last name? Dan. I think his career is going to be destroyed, but there still are guys that are like, yeah, go Dan.
I think this has been my prediction for him. He's going to try to do his own show. God, his comment section though. If you go to any of his comment section,
I go leave some comments.
Oh my God, dude, it's 100%.
He deserves just to be
100% people.
I think they boost stuff with like bots because it'll be 100% bad comments and it'll be like 50,000 likes.
Yeah. But yeah, so and then I think he's going to try to do a show. It's going to go horribly. He'll burn in, and I think he's going straight to Fox News, and he'll go beyond. He'll go beyond Fox and Friends weekends, and that way he'll be able to go grift and chill for Trump and Israel.
CBS might hire him.
Yeah,
Barry Weiss.
Yeah, Barry. You're right, Barry Weiss.
She's the most talentless hack. They have 150. I looked up like her podcast views. I think I asked Grok, and it was like my show's new, and I think I had like 30 times more.
Could you imagine how much money we're worth?
I know. I think I calculated mine was worth like $8 billion or something by the ratios for hers, by views,
by Barry Weiss math, by CBS.
So I had an $8 billion podcast. If I was Jewish, it was
yeah, dude. I mean, dude. It's so funny. Like people joke about that all the time. I'm like, man. I wish there was like an American First outlet that was given $7,000 a post
per tweet. Yeah, I'd be like,
for us to just
7,000
for us to just like talk how we normally are. But I mean, like that's these.
No, to push my real views, I would definitely take the 7,000.
Yeah,
it's crazy how propped up they are, and like
there's this. I always wondered like with these at this point in 2026. These like hardcore, like Brandon Tatum, right? These hardcore pro-Israel shills. Like, do they really believe this shit, or is this like they're now sort of like in the grift and they're beholden to their viewers, and so they just have to like keep shilling?
The majority of them are just shilling and they're doing it for the money. And it's kind of the B list. You notice now it's not that good of people. Like Charlie Kirk was kind of turning. I don't think it was for the right reasons. I think it was for popularity and money.
Yes,
but the wrong reasons, but he was still starting to turn on Israel.
Well, and there definitely is some prominent figures you can tell are making that shift because
so unpopular.
Because
they didn't do it because they killed fucking blue kids' arms and laughed and raped fucking people in prison.
Yeah.
They did it because they're losing money and popularity, especially with young people. And that's where Charlie Kirk went. He was just like, man, I'm being constantly attacked. You know, I was told on Harrison Smith's show, like 2 weeks before he got shot. He told me that he thought Charlie Kirk said he was gonna get killed by Israel if he left. I laughed it off at the time.
Yeah.
I'm
like, that's ridiculous.
So ridiculous. But then he got shot, and I was like,
because you're like, he's the Israel guy.
Yeah, Zionist. I was supposed to debate him on some very, very big podcasts, and then he pulled out. I think,
but if you
he's a better debater than me, but he knows he can't hold his position for 90 minutes.
Oh yeah. The Israel position's
he's a better debater, but he pulled out of the debate on a very large podcast. Like,
really, Charlie?
Yeah, because we're debating Israel, but then he ended up.
He said no thanks. I mean, I could see that.
Yeah. But I mean, he can't. He knew he couldn't defend the position.
No, and I think that he stopped. He kind of was stopping trying. And there's been quite a few times with Charlie. Like if you watched him on Patriot Bet David, he talked about October 7th and literally said 100% this was a false flag.
I saw that clip. Yeah,
and I think that got pulled down by PBD. Don't quote me on that. I may be wrong on
Possible.
that. But there's been multiple times where he's like more recently started to shift, and people, I think it's interesting. I haven't, I did a lot of Charlie Kirk coverage on the actual shooting. I've never like put out I think X did it.
Yeah.
Because I think there's just actually so many different groups that have or had incentive.
Yeah, I haven't seen a strong enough thing either to give an opinion. I think there's a lot of things off with the shooting, but I haven't seen a strong. I think Israel's done a lot, but I don't want to blame them unless I can actually see a link.
I will say there is huge links.
Yeah.
No,
I think it's
with
definitely
that
possible.
one, the biggest one, the way I look at it is because he was basically so important from the Zionist side to the young right-wing audience, sort of that counter Nick Fuentes audience, right? Where the young Gen Z audience that Israel needs desperately.
Yeah.
Because they have the boomers and older Gen X that are
we're not going to get them back. They're
I mean,
lost.
even like my parents, my dad, he's been I mean, that generation just grew
My
up.
mom's gone strong against them. She was always slightly against it, but now she's majorly against it.
But I mean, that generation grew up with like Israel's the good guy, Judeo-Christian values. Like,
Jews can't do anything wrong. They're always the victim.
And that's just always been what it is. And so, but now with Gen Z and even millennials, that support is disappearing. And it's like, it went from like a neutral 50-50 to like 40 points underwater now.
People really don't like them.
And so if you're Israel and you're looking at this and you're going, okay, we cannot lose the young right-wing demographic. If we do, 10 years from now, we're fucked. Like there will be no more American support. So Charlie Kirk is the most important figure to us. Now, conversely, because Charlie Kirk is so prominent and so relevant with young Gen Z men, if he then switches to our side and flips.
You have to get him before he flips, too.
If he flips, the game's over.
Right.
Because now that demographic you so desperately need, if the guy in charge of that flips, it's gone.
And they have to get him before he flipped. That's right. When he said he's given, wasn't it like 48 hours after.
48 hours, Charlie Kirk said that he was tired of being bullied by his Jewish donors, and he no longer could support the pro-Israel cause, and he was dead 48 hours later. So, not to say that,
but it means
that
something.
Proves
means something.
anything,
Yeah, but it means something.
But,
you're a gun guy. I think you're one of the ones that did a lot of the ballistics.
Yeah.
I think I'd seen you before I realized who you were. You were doing these gun tests with was it 30-06, and it looks like it doesn't do a nice little neat wound in the neck.
No. So yeah, we've done. I've done a ton of work on the ballistic side of the Charlie Kirk case. A lot of people have. A lot of people have done a lot of really good work. And yeah, the idea, a 30-06 for your viewers who aren't gun guys, high powered rifle that you use to kill moose and elk, like giant big game. And it's specifically a rifle that you choose to kill moose or elk because the power of that round is so strong that you need to potentially blast through,
a big ass
3 feet of animal, multiple layers of bone, right?
So it just blows right
because
through it.
Because you got to blow through
the rib
cage, tendon, you've got to and hit the lungs and heart. And so you need a round that's going to just do insane damage, and that's why 30-06 is typically used for big game hunting. And so the idea then that same caliber round at 139 yards, which is a close shot, hits a skinny human neck and creates
nothing, just a little hole.
Tiny hole, no exit wound. I mean, and I've done my tests for people who have seen the videos. Like,
I've seen it.
Yeah, we were shooting cow femurs, man. We're talking about like, and
every one too was like a big blow
explodes.
Up, right?
It's not even like it made it through. Like it explodes, and so you would have expected at least half Charlie Kirk's head to get ripped off by a 30-06 round, and so that's really from the beginning where as soon as we heard this was a 30-06 and like you barely see the wound, there's no exit wound. I think
no exit wound.
Vast majority of guys who were into shooting were like, no. That's what everyone knows. Gun. I'm not a gun guy, so I can't say. I know about choking motherfuckers, so, but like you obviously should go to the experts to understand that, and all the experts say no. Now there is possibilities of this to happen. And that's what I tell people.
Yeah, like, weird things could happen, I guess.
So I think like statistically, I've seen some actual like real ballistic mathematical terminal ballistics experts like kind of do the math on this, and it's really been like the idea is probably the odds of the official narrative that Charlie Kirk was shot in the neck with 30-06 from 140 yards and did no exit wound, maybe 1 in 50 to 1 in 100,000 times.
Wow.
You would see that. So is it possible that the Powerball got hit that day?
But it's very
But
rare.
It's extremely.
And why wouldn't it have exited his body?
Well, I mean, we don't know, because typically a 30-06 is going to go through 30 inches of flesh before.
Typically it would go right through a body, right?
It's going, 30-06 is going right through typically anything from 140 yards. Like, you're expecting the damage of that bullet is
How far
massive.
away was he when he shot him? Do you know?
140 yards, which is very close.
Okay.
And so, yeah, you're expecting that bullet to tear through anything on the human body, through and through.
So it should have done more damage, and it should have gone through.
Oh yeah, it would have. You would have expected, and so then it becomes like, well, maybe it was some weird round, maybe it was bad ammo. Like there's all these different ways people have tried to justify it, but no one has been able to replicate it. No one's been able to
shoot something, put a little hole in it.
Nobody's been able to take a 30-06 out to the range and have it just do a little bit of damage and then not go through something. Every single test you're going to see, it's blown. I shot through.
I saw yours.
I shot through half-inch steel.
It was blowing shit up. Yeah.
Half-inch steel, straight steel.
And it's the exact same gun.
Straight through. So it's like.
And you tried some from the same distance and stuff too? Or?
Yeah, we shot everything. We shot everything from, we started with a pumpkin, then we shot like a sheep shoulder blade with about 8 inches. We shot cow vertebrae. So like, we're talking about a human neck vertebrae. We shot cow vertebrae, which is like.
Yeah, so way
20 times as thick.
Yeah.
Blows it in half. We shot.
Should have blown right through his neck. They say it went down, I guess, but it didn't
supposedly
really look like it.
We don't even know because they haven't released an autopsy report or a medical report, but
that's kind of weird.
Supposedly hit him in the neck, and then that bullet deflected off of his C2 vertebrae, crashed down through a couple more vertebrae, and then just like lodged in his.
I'm not a gun expert, but I don't feel like it would reflect down. I don't know. It seems a little.
So, if the shot is coming from a downward angle, which it is on the roof,
down,
you would expect to see, like, as it hits something hard, a deflection.
Kind of pierced.
It would be like this, right?
Wouldn't it be like here?
Bullets do this, and they'll deflect certain directions. But what a bullet won't do is do what they're claiming,
which is there and down,
which goes here and then 90 degrees.
That doesn't make
because
sense.
That's not how Newtonian physics work. Because if something gets hit so hard this way,
you go off, maybe,
it's either going to crash through or it's going to impact. Mushroom and just be done. It's not gonna. Yeah, bullets. Nothing does that.
No, common sense.
It's not a bouncy ball.
Yeah,
right?
I know how things work. Things don't do that.
Right. It's not going to hit something, refract 90 degrees, and then keep its velocity to continue crashing through everything. Like that's not.
Seems very unlikely to me. Kind of like you heard of the magic bullet theory with
It's 100% just like the magic bullet.
That's just. Insane.
It's the Charlie Kirk magic bullet theory now.
Yeah, the Charlie Kirk magic. Yeah, and actually, a Jewish guy came up with the magic bullet theory. Shockingly, right? It's like that it went through JFK's back. Well, it's like I forget, it's like 7, I think, entry and exit wounds, like turning angles, going through several people, out, turns here, goes through, stopped in midair for a second because the timing was off. It was just like
now, these things can happen. So, for example, I had my fellow Green Beret Chuck Ritter on my show, who was shot in the spine. With a AK-47 7.62 round, shot in the spine, tracked down his spine, and created no exit wound.
Wow.
However, it hit him high up in the spine, I believe, and tracked through like 30 inches of his body and was like lodged in his ass. And so, and also that was a much, much smaller round and much less powerful. So if you were to expect something like that, it could happen, but like they're claiming that 30-06 came in here, moved 5 inches, and then stopped. And it's like,
it doesn't seem like they don't know about guns, but from what I saw, it seems very unlikely.
One in 100,000.
I haven't really followed this case that close, to be honest, but it seems like there's a lot of oddities.
It's the most oddities of anything. I mean, it's just from start to finish of that entire situation. There's obviously so many people involved, and not that we're like guessing.
Yeah,
like there was people on Twitter messaging about Charlie Kirk was going to be killed on September 10th. There was like 8 different people who were messaging about this.
Discord?
Yeah, on Discord too.
Jesse was talking about this when I had him on. He was breaking some of this because I hadn't really followed it that close.
Yeah, so there was a bunch of people on Discord talking about it, people on Twitter talking about it. There was a person that wrote a song called Charlie Kirk Dead at what Charlie Kirk Dead at 31, I believe.
Is that how old he was when he?
Yeah, whatever his age was, but Charlie Kirk Dead at 31 on like on September 10th or some shit. Like this was a song written before Charlie was like a month before he was killed.
So it seemed like there might have been a group of people.
Yes, there was tons. There was obviously a bunch of people involved. And then the assassination itself, like the gunshot goes off immediately. There's an old weird dude who's got his pants pulled down.
That was fucking weird. Yeah,
Ashkenazi
saying
Jew.
He did it. Oh, shocking!
Saying,
single time.
I did it. Shoot me, shoot me, shoot me. There's another guy in the crowd, curly-haired guy, turning around, cheering, looking at the shooter. And we know more about him. He's super sketchy.
What's his story?
I can't talk about it yet. There's actually some real weird shit going on with him. The Jesse on Fire. I had him on the show. He was breaking it down because I've been so busy during that time period, I hadn't been able to follow it. So he uncovered a bunch of stuff on that guy. You had Hunter Kozak, the guy who asked the question.
Jesse was telling me this, and then after that, he was fucking asked the Eric. I'm sure you saw that, right? Go ahead and explain it.
So Hunter Kozak is the guy who asked the question about trans gun violence right before Charlie gets shot. Well,
by a trans.
He does this thing. Charlie gets shot, and he does this panic thing. Well, there's footage of him in the crowd doing this, like practicing his reaction.
That's insane.
Like his same reaction he does. Yes, he's like out by himself in the crowd.
Oh my God.
There's people of video footage of him practicing this shit randomly, and then he gets up there. Charlie Kirk gets shot in the face, and he does it.
About trans violence, and a person connected to trans shoots him. You know, they brought him back to talk to Erica Kirk.
And then they had him on the show to talk to Erica's wife.
That's insane.
When he obviously, I'm not going to say, I don't want to get sued because we don't know, but like,
I know certain people sue a lot.
Why were you practicing that?
That's weird.
Before that.
Would you also say they ran and grabbed the camera footage right away? Like if you got shot, I wouldn't run and grab the thing.
TPUSA.
Imagine if you got shot and I ran and grabbed that and ran off instead of trying to fucking help you.
And there's that plus that's footage. If you actually watch the second that Charlie is shot, he immediately, 2 different guys do this. The gunshot goes off. He immediately takes off running around the corner, pulls his phone out. And there's footage of him doing it, but also
he runs and gets the body. I saw that too.
No, he runs around the corner and he goes, "They just shot Charlie. He's dead. He's dead." And it was like, you didn't even see that. He hadn't even hit the ground yet before you're around the corner.
Instead of running to help him, he runs off to say he's dead.
To film it, right? And then he's like filming Charlie as his body gets. And these are like the people all working for TPUSA.
Not what I want my friends to do.
You also have Mikey McCoy, who is chief of staff or whatever he is at Turning Point USA, another guy who's standing next to the guy we talked about. Also, Charlie gets shot within 0.83 seconds, less than 1 second of Charlie's being shot. His phone is at his ear.
Oh my God.
Already on the phone with someone. You guys can watch footage on this.
That's insane.
He turns around. Charlie just gets shot, pulls his phone up, turns around slowly.
Oh my
Everybody's
God.
screaming. Everybody's screaming, running, ducking for cover. People are trying to help Charlie. He turns around, phone to the ear, just walks off slowly. And they have footage of him just walking, and he just walks off into the parking lot. If you get a friend shot, you're either going to try to shoot the guy that shot him, or you're going to go home and try to help him. Slowly, dude. And
you're not just going to grab your phone.
Not panic. Like he picks it up and like just casually, as people are running around him.
I was pretty sure Charlie was going to die when I saw that, but I still would have grabbed his neck, tried putting pressure on it, tried getting him out of there.
And that's the other thing.
And I don't even like Charlie.
Another thing
that
I've broken down in videos of talking about the security detail, and it's like the massive failures in that. We can watch them as they're treating Charlie. Like we've seen, like nobody has any blood on their hands at all.
Yeah, because blood should have been shooting out, right?
Isn't it what? Well, it was. You can watch the blood.
That's what it shot out. That's why I thought
dumping out of his neck.
Like, I was pretty sure he was going to die right away when I saw that. I'm sure you.
And then everybody gets on him, and you can see them trading him, and then like you see everybody's hands.
Were they stopping the blood and stuff?
No. And we know they weren't, because when they pick him up, and I had heavy criticisms of this, I broke down the whole trauma medicine failures of this. They pick him up to take him to the car. Nobody's holding any pressure on his neck at all.
I don't know about medical. That's the first thing I would do.
No, his neck is just hanging out as he's just bleeding out.
Yeah, because that's obviously what you want to try to stop the bleeding.
No, nobody's holding any pressure on his neck as they're taking him to the car. They're just they just drag him off there.
Saving him.
And then they just throw him in the car. And you're like, and it gets even crazier. Paramedics are there with like the high-level med bags and equipment trying to treat Charlie, and the security detail wouldn't let them treat Charlie.
What the
There's
fuck?
Then as they're
wanted to make sure he died. It sounds like
I don't know,
but say that.
And this is all in footage and videos I've done.
I gotta look this shit up because I was just so busy when it happened. I couldn't really follow.
It's all on camera.
So no one stopped the bleeding from coming out.
No,
that's the first fucking thing you do.
Everybody can watch him getting carried to the car. As
one of your friends shot, you're gonna stop the bleeding right away, right?
You have to. A carotid artery or a jugular,
because that's a bad. That's the only possibility of surviving.
Arterial wound like that, you're gonna be dead in 60 to 90 seconds.
Yeah, you gotta get on it right away.
And you have to
get
your hands in there. You have to actually get your thumbs on that laceration.
Yeah, you know a lot more than me, but I would think go cover it right away.
You have to. And so we can watch that. And then as they go to put him in the car, the paramedics are trying to give TPUSA their aid bags, and they won't take them. And then they just drive off as the paramedics are like, they wouldn't let the paramedics get in the car either. And you're like all of those things, when you start. So my point is, when we think about all the crazy shit we just talked about.
I didn't know some of this shit.
The 30-06 stuff's bizarre. All these other people involved, people doing weird shit. The security detail not rendering proper aid, not letting the paramedics contribute, taking him to a.
Take him, or did they drive him?
They put him in. No, they put him in a vehicle and then drove him.
They didn't put him in like an ambulance, or the paramedics?
No,
they didn't let the.
They didn't even wait for paramedics, which they should have done. No, and they wouldn't let the paramedics get in the car. Then
that's insane.
They take him take him to a hospital that's a lower level of trauma care and further away than a hospital that's 2 minutes away. That's a high level trauma care. Why?
Holy fuck! I've not been following this case that good. This is insane. I did not know all this.
So my point is, like, who did it? I don't know. Was it all set up?
I
don't know.
Was it just incompetence, or was it?
But I can look at 1,000 things like that and go, is there 1,000 coincidences here?
Yeah, when you start, the more things you start seeing, the more likely it becomes. And you look at who has a history of doing these type of things, and you can look on Wikipedia and look at assassinations, Israel, the ones they admit doing, not just Israel, they do them all across the world.
And how many of the high level famous assassinations in the United States have we then later been like, oh yeah, it was just some crazy lone gunman?
Yeah,
none of them.
None
of them.
Yeah,
we know now from MLK to JFK. To even Abraham Lincoln, we know all of these assassinations had big government influence, had high side CIA, Mossad level influence. Like, these things are not being carried. Like, is it possible that Tyler Robinson, some dipshit 22-year-old kid whose hobbies include Magic the Gathering
and
video games and furries, that he woke up one day, never seeing the campus, somehow drove all the way to UVU, knew exactly where to go, exactly where to infiltrate to get onto this roof, to have the perfect line of sight to where Charlie was going to be? How do you know where Charlie was going to be there?
True.
I don't know. There's multiple pavilions of where he could have been, right? But he knows where to go. He infiltrates
they didn't say where he was going to be put.
Right. He infiltrates in. He somehow, we still have never seen any pictures or footage of him with a gun. He somehow has this magic gun that he gets to the roof that we have no footage of. Takes the shot, exfils, gets out, gets away, then decides to go into the woods and throw his gun on the ground in a chicken coop.
It's not what I would do with a gun if I just shot someone.
Well, he already got away. So why wouldn't you go put it in your car?
Yeah, you go, and if you're going to get rid of it, you're going to fucking bury it somewhere where it's not going to get found.
No, he just goes and throws it in a chicken coop right by where he supposedly, again, keep in mind, he pulled all of this off. He gets away unscathed. Assassination attempt.
Like a brilliant move
by some
dumb kid.
When it first happened, I thought this was some type of professional level hit because he got away.
No, it seemed like
he got in, killed him,
good shot,
got out
right to the neck where you're going to bleed out,
and gets away. And then all of a sudden, the gun gets stashed right there. They find the gun, and then all of a sudden, it's like he's sending text messages.
I did it, babe.
I did it, and here's how I did it. And I promise my furry boyfriend had nothing to do with this, and my love, and all these different things. And you're like. And then he gets away, and the only way he gets caught is supposedly his dad turns him in. That's what the media tells us.
Parents usually don't, even when the kids are wrong, but maybe.
But then we find out that's not true. The truth is, what happened is a sheriff who used to be, like, I guess the Boy Scout troop leader of Tyler and friends of the family, saw the picture of...
What picture of him?
There was a picture of him, like, walking up the stairwell that they were using to try to figure out who he was before anybody knew who he was.
Really blurry, right?
Yeah. So supposedly the family friend actually sees the picture, realizes it's Tyler, goes over to Tyler's house, convinces Tyler and the family, you need to turn yourself in or the SWAT team's going to show up here and they're going to fucking kill you. And so then Tyler decides to turn himself in willingly to the police. They lose, the sheriffs lose all the camera footage supposedly of him being detained and being brought in.
Don't they have the cameras on?
Nope, it's all lost. It's all gone. So all of the footage,
like automatic, aren't they? Like they're
it's gone. It's deleted.
Jesus.
It's lost. It's the lost footage now. And so again, like
multiple police, I would imagine, came and arrested him, not just one.
Right.
So all their camera footage is gone.
Yep. So there's no footage of him being arrested now. And so you're just like, you start to
too many things.
When you go start to finish and you go, do we believe that this was this dipshit 22-year-old kid who pulled all this off with zero training? Zero.
Yeah, sounds like a fucking
zero help.
Something a Green Beret would do. Mission gets away.
And I just don't believe that. I just do not. I don't know who did it, who done it, but I do not believe that like the official narrative that this kid with a 30-06 that nobody's ever seen him get to the roof with all of this other shit going on.
Dumb fucking video game player seems unlikely to me.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, maybe, right? There's always
there's always possibilities, but didn't he not have the gun when he jumped off the roof too, or they said it was in his pants or something?
So yeah, they said it was in his pants, and then you see him jump off the roof from 10 feet, and both his knees buckled a full 90. Like
so they say he took it apart. How quickly can you take those guns apart?
A 30-06. Yeah. He would have had to taken it apart because the footage supposedly starts of him running right after the gunshot. He would have had to take that 30-06 apart in about 3 seconds, which
how quick could you?
2 minutes probably.
And you're a professional. It'd take you
2
minutes
minutes probably.
You'd have to done that your whole life, and it would take you that long.
Yeah, man. Well, and
I guess he's a lot better than you.
But keep in mind, he just killed someone, and he's on a roof, and potentially he's going to get shot in the face from law enforcement.
Why would you run with the gun or leave the gun, or no?
Why wouldn't you just run with the gun?
You'd run with the gun. You wouldn't take it apart if it's to take 2 fucking minutes or even 30 seconds.
Well,
you'd have to get out right away before anyone would react.
If he had some like collapsible AR-15 style platform where you could just collapse the buttstock, throw it in the backpack.
That's not what it was, right?
Not according to the FBI. According to the FBI, is this 44-inch Mauser 30-06 long rifle.
You want screwdriver.
Screwdriver. So for a Mauser, there's a bunch of different screws that you got to decompartmentalize.
You'd take screws out.
Yeah. You're not. It's not like an AR-15, where you like can detent.
You can't just spin it off real quick.
Like AR-15, you like detent. You just detempt the buttons and you can pull it apart real quick. No, there's actual tools. Most of the time, you need a vice clamp for it.
Your whole life, and it would take you 2 minutes.
Yeah,
that's insane. There's no way.
Well, but he also supposedly put it back together on the roof. And then people are like, well, then how did he took a cold bore shot? Is the scope even zeroed anymore because he took the entire gun apart and then put it back together?
So when it was found, was it put together?
Yes, and then when he found it, it's all put together.
Put it back together when he ditched it.
Supposedly.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't, and that's why the story has been so crazy.
Oh man, I didn't follow it because I was too busy and I didn't want to get. You get stuck down a rabbit hole and you can't stop.
Oh, it's the ultimate. It's the ultimate rabbit hole.
I didn't want that to happen where I would just not be able to stop because that can happen to me sometimes. So that's why I avoided it.
Oh no, it's the ultimate rabbit hole story for sure, dude.
Took the gun apart, takes 2 minutes, then jumped off, put it back. But he was running within a couple seconds. Put it back together to ditch it. Why the fuck are you gonna put a gun back together to ditch it? And why are you gonna ditch it in a chicken coop?
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, and I don't have another theory, but I know who kills a lot of people.
It's kind of the usual suspect when it comes to like, hey, if you're wondering who might have been behind this,
it's probably in terms of like an assassination. Well,
if I had to put my own money on it, then you're like, hey, or like gun to your head, you got to decide. Then it's
I know what I would say.
Yeah, I know what
our greatest ally.
I know what I'm probably.
Yeah, I didn't know a lot of stuff you just said. That's crazy. They didn't treat his neck. That's insane right there. They didn't try to stop the blood. That's common sense. Doesn't everyone know that? Anyone who's not an idiot knows that.
They claim they did, but like we can watch the footage of them. We can't see Charlie's neck, but we can see the people working on him, and we can see them pull their hands up.
There's no blood. Yeah.
There's no blood on anybody's hands that's working on.
And I heard he needed to take his gun apart, but I didn't realize it was that difficult to take apart that you can't just snap it off.
No, not.
So I was thinking maybe you could screw it real quick.
Not a 30-06. No, that's a hunting rifle.
There's no way you're taking 2 minutes up there on the roof, and you just ran with it.
No, we know he didn't.
You'd
because
have to just sprint off.
Because you can. There's footage of him. One person got a camera footage of him from behind Charlie Kirk that you can see. You can actually see him running away on the roof, or whoever it is, running away on the roof. You can't see a gun in his hands, but
I saw that video of him jumping. I don't see a gun.
You can see him running away, and so and that's when the crowd is freaking out.
Yeah.
And so the gunshot goes off.
Guy run forwards. I did it. That was the diversion for someone to get away.
The gunshot goes off, and you can see him running.
Yeah.
So it's not like the gunshot goes off and then.
Well, if you were to shoot someone, you'd want someone to take blame to throw them off real quick. You'd want someone to be, I did it, while the real shooter runs off.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just, again, we
seems calculated. It could be a random coincidence, but that seems very calculated. You give the shooter a chance to get away by saying you did it.
Think about coincidences of that. It just happens. Somebody assassinates somebody, and there's another person in the crowd who immediately says, I did it.
God's chosen. There's not very many of those in Utah either. I think there's
really, do we really think the coincidences of that? Just random guy in the crowd, the second a gunshot.
I shot him.
It was me.
And then he had child porn on him apparently.
Yeah, and you know why that was so important? Because you cannot, media is not allowed to interview anyone that is under investigation for child porn. And so no one can talk to him.
Is that one of the only crimes that's like that?
Yep. And
that's what he got caught for.
Yep. No one can talk to him or find out anything about him now because of it.
Wow. It's like when Jack Ruby shot Oswald.
Isn't that convenient?
Yeah. Well, MK Ultra, Jolly West, he was the number 2 guy. He weaseled his way in to get to see him. The judge didn't want to get him there, but he got in there, and then his brain was scrambled after that. Mm-hmm. He just was babbling, not the same person after that.
Yep. And that same guy was also, I believe, at the Boston bombing. He had called in a bomb threat at the Boston bombing before it happened, and then was also, I believe, at 9/11.
It seems like he's a nice fella.
It's just this Ashkenazi Jew that just happens to be at 9/11, the Boston bombing, Charlie Kirk, but also at those events doing sketchy shit.
And having child porn. The one thing where you can't talk to someone. I didn't realize it was the one thing you couldn't talk to the media. That's crazy.
Yeah. And it's all convenient. It's just coincidences, dude. Just a lot of coincidences.
A lot of these things have all these coincidences. Like I said, it's that JFK thing with all the coincidences of our greatest allies on there.
Yep.
And chosen people just again and again and again.
JFK's a good one. If you want, we were talking about JFK.
Let's hit into that for a few before we.
Yeah. So JFK, Green Berets love JFK. JFK.
I love JFK.
Yeah, you want to know the story about how the Green Beret came to be?
Yeah, I didn't realize. Tell me the story.
Yeah, so JFK. So Green Berets, or Army Special Forces derivative, kind of spurred from the OSS after World War II, but hadn't become the Green Berets yet. And so Army Special Forces, I believe it was in 1962, 1963, was starting to operate in Vietnam and Laos and Cambodia, sort of at the start of that conflict. And JFK actually came to see the Army Special Forces unit at training group, and he came to see the capabilities. So he came to see what Green Berets could do, because seeing unconventional warfare and how we do all the cool stuff that we do. And the commander at the time was William Yarborough, who actually just a badass wore this Green Beret. It was not.
That's how they got the name.
Well, he would wear a Green Beret with his army uniform. It wasn't a approved headgear at all.
Because he was bad enough he could get away with it.
Yeah, he's just a fucking badass Special Forces commander that liked having this green headgear that he'd wear, and so he's wearing it as he takes JFK around to see all these demonstrations. So one of the demonstrations, they come up, and this guy pulls this huge. Poisonous snake out of this Green Beret pulls this huge poisonous snake out of a box and shows it to JFK. JFK's like, what the fuck, right? And then he grabs it, and then this is where we get the Green Berets are called snake eaters. This is where this comes from. He just grabs this poisonous snake, puts the entire thing in his mouth behind the glands in front of JFK, and just rips its head off with his teeth, and then flays it open and shows JFK how to basically devenomize and prepare this poisonous snake to eat. And so JFK is
Savage.
JFK is watching these Green Berets do this shit, and it's these fucking guys are the coolest ever, right? And so JFK becomes this like huge fan of the Green Beret, or the Green Berets before they're Green Berets. And then he's talking to William Yarbrough, and he goes, "Is this your guys' headgear? Is this what you wear?" And he goes, "No, this isn't actually approved to wear. I just fucking like it," right? And JFK goes, "Well, from now on, Army Special Forces will wear that headgear."
That's awesome.
So the Green Beret is the only presidential ordered headgear in the U.S. military. So like no one can tell me to take it off.
Yeah, nope, I can wear this motherfucker.
I can have it rescinded if I do some bad stuff. Then we know that's happened to some people in the space. But outside of that, like you can't ever take it away from me because it's presidential ordered.
So yours.
And so that obviously like built the foundation of the Green Berets as a unit. And so like everything is named after JFK. So our training group is like the John F. Kennedy Special Warfare Center in school. Like everything's named after JFK. And then what gets really interesting is, I believe it was in 1963, we had a lot of Green Berets that were starting to get killed in Vietnam and Cambodia and Laos in the initial portions of that. And John F. Kennedy decided, I don't want any more fucking Green Berets dying for whatever the fuck this is in Vietnam. Like, we are not doing this.
Yeah.
And so he makes the decision. This is also right around the same time he makes the decision to stop the invasion of Cuba. Right. So if you're aware of that, we were going to overthrow.
Weren't they going to bomb American citizens or they're going to shoot a plane or
Not
something?
Not only that, but there was an entire uprising, basically an entire uprising ready to kick off. And then basically the CIA wanted JFK to be willing to invade Cuba right after.
We were going to do a false flag. Then
false flag. Then we were going to invade Cuba. And then JFK obviously shuts that down and is like, fuck no, we're not going to let you kill American citizens to push forward this forever war. So now so keep this in mind, right? So now he shut down the CIA on Cuba. He shut down the CIA on what's going on in Vietnam.
Yes.
And then he also decides that he's going to stop Israel from having a nuclear program, sort of all in the same time period. And then
got shot. Yeah. He was also shutting down their version of AIPAC before it's AIPAC.
Yep.
And then he got shot. It was probably a venture between the CIA and Mossad.
100%.
Because there's that, what is it, James Singleton or whatever? He was the CIA counterintelligence who they were watching Oswald.
Yep.
Israel, after he died, they gave him a giant celebration with an olive planting thing, which typically isn't done for non-Jews. Like they say he's done more than Israel than anyone can know.
That's so crazy.
When he was helping them, or he at least knew they were still in nuclears from America, but he likely helped them.
Yeah. And so it's just so interesting that like as soon as Kennedy's dead and Johnson takes over, immediately Green Berets are redeployed to Vietnam. Immediately.
So they got their wars back.
Immediately redeployed, and then obviously would see what happens with Vietnam for the next 12 years after that. That war explodes based off that, which JFK was shutting down that war.
I didn't know he was shutting that down.
Yeah, shutting down that war before it was going to kick off for the most part. And then also obviously putting a hammer on what the CIA was doing in Cuba, putting the hammer down on Israel. Yeah, and like you can. So what was he? So who was he fucking with? The military-industrial complex, the CIA, and Israel.
Exactly. Well, there's all they ties.
Those three.
People you don't want to piss off.
If you think about it,
well, the mafia, they probably use the mafia to do the hit.
The mafia,
but people don't realize the mafia they think is Italian, but they even made a movie trying to blame like, oh, the Italian mafia and this and that, but it's like the Jewish mafia. You know, Meyer Lansky was the head of it.
Yeah. So it's just so interesting that like the one president who stood up to the military-industrial complex, stood up to the CIA, wouldn't kiss the wall, shot in the face.
They wanted to make an example of him. That was like that was our last great president. I feel
unless except for like Nixon, right? Nixon was then the next president who started to put his foot down, started to go after AIPAC, and what they do?
They did the Watergate.
Watergate, and we're now finding out that like that was set up, and
it
was all set up. And Nixon, and it's crazy. It's like Nixon is now sort of being vindicated.
Right,
historically,
he was the most vilified by the media too. They take it and they vilify these people. Well, there's someone they really vilified in history. But they take it and they completely vilify these people because they control the media.
Because he wanted to shut down AIPAC.
Yeah, there's all the things where he's like, a lot of these Jewish people, they don't have the interests of America. Sometimes Israel and America have the same interests. Sometimes we don't. But these people, they don't care. They always want to put the interests of America or Israel first.
And it's so crazy if you just start looking at it of every time throughout history, going back to like World War I. Like you get out of line.
Yeah. Even Carter didn't do a second term.
you get out of line and you're done, dude. Like they're either
killed or out
or you stay in line. And they'll look at Trump.
Yeah, now they push him. The media doesn't attack him anymore. Even Bill Clinton.
That's so crazy that you mentioned that.
Well, that's when I realized the media.
CNN and MSNBC
they stopped
don't
attacking Trump, and then the worst people got behind him, all the worst billionaires. So I think he was always kind of a puppet, but he got worse the second time because all the worst billionaires got behind him. The media got behind him.
I tell people, look at his cabinet. His entire cabinet is never Trumpers.
Yeah.
Let's go through it. J.D. Vance.
Never Trumper.
The biggest never Trumper in the world. Mm-hmm. You got Marco Rubio. Huge never. Remember little Marco?
Yeah, little
right?
Marco, yeah.
The Marco Rubio all of these people hate Donald Trump. Okay? You can just keep going. Tulsi Gabbard, Democrat, hated Trump.
I'm friends with her, so that's a bizarre one.
Tulsi's great.
And I
she's
still like her, but
she's getting. Well, now they're just
things that I haven't liked.
Now they're just.
It's hard when you see someone you personally know.
She's getting disrespected big time now by the administration. Have you seen what they're saying now?
She leaves or something. I haven't seen what she said.
No, have you seen what the Trump administration saying about her?
What did they say?
So she's with the DNI, the director of national. What is it?
I know what you're talking about.
Director of National Intelligence. Excuse me. So the Trump administration, when they did the invasion of Venezuela to get Maduro, didn't inform the DNI at all.
Didn't inform her.
Which is insane because the director of national intelligence, somebody you might want to be talking to if you're trying to kidnap a foreign president.
Yeah, you would think that would make sense.
There's a lot of intelligence that goes into that. Yeah. Trump was joking and calling Tulsi Gabbard that she was part of the DNI, which is the do not invite part of his administration.
She needs to walk away and save some face because I haven't talked to her in a while, but I knew her pretty well.
But do you know why Trump is doing that and disrespecting her that way? Is because before the first Iran 12-day war, Tulsi Gabbard came out and gave before Congress, and she came out and said there is no credible evidence that Iran is developing nuclear weapons. And you know what Donald Trump said after she said that? He said, "I don't really care what she has to say." Jesus. That's what Trump said about his DNI, his director of national intelligence.
Resign and be like, "Fuck this," because. I always felt like she had a lot of integrity and stuff. And
I wanted her to run as Trump's VP because I liked her so much.
Yeah, when you hang out with someone, you're like, oh, this is a good person. And then you see him working for them. It's like, what the fuck?
It'd be one thing if it was a different situation and hey, I think she's probably doing good work, but she's being actively just disrespected by Trump on purpose. He's literally making fun of her.
I wouldn't work with someone disrespect me, would you? When you tell me to fuck off, I'd be like, go fuck yourself. Maybe I'm too stubborn, but sometimes you're successful that way. But I'm not gonna let someone disrespect me.
Yeah, and it's happening from president. It's also happening from the rest of the administration towards her too. Even it ties back into the Charlie Kirk situation. Mm-hmm. So Kash Patel and the FBI. This is another weird shit that happened with that. So Joe Kent and Tulsi Gabbard were looking into foreign involvement into the Charlie Kirk assassination, which makes sense.
Yeah, seems likely.
Seems likely. The FBI shut down Joe Kent and Tulsi from being able to access any information on the Charlie Kirk case. Yes. Wow. They blocked it completely and threw a massive temper tantrum about it. And so, the DNI and Joe Kent works for or is the head of the National Counterterrorism Center. They shut them down from being able to even look in, and they shut the CIA down. We know that now from being able to look.
These people have power. No, Kash Patel. That's.
But my point is, that's even Trump's little minions are just fuck off.
It's crazy.
We're not going to let you do your job.
Dude, did you see the ADL the other day? Because the FBI, they said they stopped working with them, but they had this thing where we use the FBI, we monitor your bank accounts, people like me and you, we monitor your social media posts, they monitor everything, and they're using the FBI.
Social credit
score. They have
score.
all these attorneys ready to sue. So they admitted the FBI spying on our bank accounts, I'm sure me and you.
100%.
Looking through all of our social media posts, following everything we do. And ADL's been caught doing massive spy operations before. In San Francisco, they got raided in the 90s for... They had files on 12,000 citizens. They were doing illegal spying. I think they were using police officers in the police department. I don't know how some rogue officer probably went against them, but they had this huge spying operation. So it's something they do.
Dude.
12,000 people just in the Bay Area. They had.
Well, I know. We're on the list. We know you are for sure. I know I am because
I'm sure you are too.
I
started early,
the amount of videos I've done shitting on Kash Patel and Dan Bongino.
Oh God, yeah.
I just roast those guys.
It's a little scary though. These guys got a lot of power. The FBI.
I'll tell you this. Since I started really dogging the FBI for good reasons, by the way, because they're doing terrible at their jobs, I definitely I've upped my my cybersecurity.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I need to make sure
I've
all the
had
VPN.
I don't want anybody. I
don't want anything like anybody downloading shit onto my computer
I've had
and
a
then
couple
kicking my
phones
door
go
in.
haywire where they started, and I looked up what would happen to a phone, and it says actually where like they start overheating and just dying instantly, and like.
Dude, I've had it happen. This is probably like the viewers of my channel are gonna laugh because just this week, the last 2 live streams, I had my live streams go down 3 times, and it's probably coincidence. All 3 times it went down was like right when I started talking about either Israel or Erica Kirk or the FBI. It's like all 3 times. As soon as my whole stream went black, and I would like come back, and the chat would be like laughing. And they're like, "They got him, dude."
Yeah, get you rapping a few, but since you said Erica Kirk.
Oh,
I don't like criticizing at first, but
I think
she put herself out so much where it's
we're beyond that. This is what I say. I said nothing
in the beginning. I said nothing, but then it got so ridiculous that like
I said nothing criticizing Erica Kirk. Even like I even did a live stream. We donated. This was the first week it happened. Donated all the profits to her GoFundMe. This was like
I'm for sure she has tons of money. She's
but I mean I didn't know. Like we didn't. This was like 4 days after Charlie got shot in the face. You know what I mean? Like nobody had any idea.
Yeah.
We learned all these things after. So that my point is like I didn't have any ill intentions towards Erica Kirk or TPUSA until, dude, like the theatrics of it.
It's just so insane.
It's so over the top that
I couldn't imagine if girls won't leave their house after a breakup for a month, and she's out like partying, celebrating on a podcast.
She did the first
tour,
podcast 48 hours. 48 hours afterwards.
I've never seen a girl lose a fucking husband and be out doing that quick.
Well, I'll tell you, I agree with you because I unfortunately have been to a lot of funerals and around a lot of widows in our career line.
Yeah, I haven't thought about that.
And
brutal.
I have never, ever. I mean, I've got friends' wives that are still single.
It takes years.
Haven't dated anyone.
If they really
5 years.
They really love the guy. It takes years.
5 years later,
and girls never get over it.
And so here's why Erica, and this is why I'm done playing the game of like this emotional blackmail game where like we can't be critical of TPUSA or Erica Kirk. The reason why I'm done with that is because they made Erica Kirk CEO of the company.
Yeah.
And here's what I'll say is that was strategic by them and they did it on purpose. And the reason why they did it is because what they thought was if we put the grieving widow in as boss, you can't criticize
anything.
The organization, because if you attack the organization, you're attacking the grieving widow. And I will not be emotionally blackmailed.
No.
That's just not going to happen. I will be I'm a very empathetic and sympathetic guy. I think you are as well.
Yeah,
I think
that's why I didn't say anything initially. I'm like, oh yeah, she seemed a little off to me, but I'm like, I'm not going to criticize the.
But I think just the way we look at the world together, like a lot of things we've talked about, like ice shooting,
a lot of similar opinions.
We're like we are pretty empathetic and sympathetic people of like, and so I am that naturally. But it's like, dude, these like WWE entrances and fireworks and like you've raised $150 million. Also, she is. I don't know if this is true or not. As far as we've heard, that she just broke the world record for shortest private jet flight at 1 minute and 58 seconds in LA.
She didn't want to drive, huh?
Yeah, she didn't want to be in traffic. And so
all that money you raised for her really paid off.
Yeah, so it's
so like, dude, fuck, I raised money for this person.
You see that and you're just, it's like, do you ever watch the show Righteous Gemstones?
I know what you're talking about, but haven't
seen
it.
With Danny McBride?
Should I watch it?
It's so good.
I love the one he was in before.
Oh, dude, it's so good. Righteous Gemstones is a story about basically evangelical... a family that's evangelical megachurch pastors.
All right, I'll watch it.
And the way I look at TPUSA and Erica Kirk is like Righteous Gemstones. I think is like the perfect.
No, they're like those. I know those guys you're talking about. I haven't
like
seen
Bill,
them, but I know those guys.
Joe Olstein or whatever his name is.
They're just so disgusting.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, so you're not gonna come out and like go on this massive WWE podcast tour, be like throwing merch to people, and also rewriting Charlie's legacy, because what they're doing now is
back to Israel.
It's all goy slop pro-Israel. Right. Like, oh no, what Charlie really believed.
Shabbat shalom, she said.
With Shabbat shalom, and you hear that and you're like, oh, okay. So it's not only that you're disrespecting his legacy, but you're also like, again, using this emotional blackmail on American citizens that like we're not allowed to wonder like about, especially about the Charlie Kirk assassination. Like we're not allowed to have questions about that because you're grieving.
Because his wife's grieving.
But also, my biggest thing is like, why don't you have any fucking questions?
Yeah, she should be wanting questions. And she should be taking care of the fucking kids.
But
Who's taking care of her kids?
Nobody knows. But look at the other thing is like, look at all the people who've immediately supported the FBI narrative and have had no interest in like all of the weird shit we've talked about. It's weird.
All the Jews certainly do.
But who had no questions from the very beginning? His wife, TPUSA, Donald Trump, JD Vance, MAGA, Fox News, Mark Levine, Ben Shapiro. Like all of these people are just like, nope, the official narrative is true and you have to believe it. Shut your mouth.
Yeah.
And you're just
support Israel.
And I'm like, well, that seems weird that all of the usual suspects all don't want any.
Don't ask questions.
Don't ask questions. Don't ask questions.
If my best friend was shot, I would want questions. Question the fuck out of it. I want to check out all angles.
Yes. What about your wife?
Oh, fuck, I'd really want to check. I wouldn't be like, shut up, let the FBI do it. I'd be looking at everything. And some of it would probably be quackery, but I would still be trying to look at every option and going through it.
Exactly. That's where I would be too. And so with her, again, it's just like, it's such a, like, I don't want to say political, but it is becoming political because now their whole thing is like,
you can't criticize her.
You can't criticize her, but also now they're using the platform of like, hey, we need to put JD Vance in office and we got to get ready for the midterms. I saw Erica Kirk talking about just the other day on Fox News, like laughing as she's like, yeah, we got to get ready for the midterms and we got all this strategy and we got all this. And it's like, your husband just got shot in the throat.
She doesn't look depressed at all.
Your husband just got shot in the throat 4 months ago on live TV.
She's
why are you
running around?
Yeah, why are you talking about the midterms?
No, it's insane. Like, take some time off. Like, something happened to you. You wouldn't want your wife to, I'm going to take over his podcast. It must go on. It's like, take care of the kids for fucking a minute. Or like,
dude, it's so funny. I told all the guys, I've said it on stream before. I'm like, look, I even told my wife this. I was like, if I get schwacked in this line of business, if Brittany is on my podcast and on a podcast tour 48 hours after I get killed, like all my boys,
we know
you guys have permission to dog her.
All right, thank you.
Harder than anybody, dude.
So now I know running the podcast, all at TV.
Yeah, dude.
It wasn't Israel that killed him.
Yeah, like if and then all of a sudden my wife rewrote my ideology of like, no, Nate was actually always like the biggest supporter of Israel.
He went and fought a war for them.
Yeah. So if you see that, it would just be like, nah.
I couldn't imagine it happened to me. Like, take care of the kids. Don't fucking take over my podcast.
Yes.
It's insane.
And it's not like they need the money, right?
No,
like,
they have plenty of money. Exactly. They don't need the money.
And I'm not trying to like judge people with the way they grieve, but at the same time, like,
no, because people grieve differently. That's fair. That's fair, but not like that.
But
I've never seen anyone grieve like that.
But you have for that to work, we have to be talking about grieving.
Yeah, there's no grieving.
There's no grieving involved.
You've been with God, that's gonna be hard going to the funerals of.
Yeah, that's the hardest part of the funerals, man. Is the wives, right? And I've never seen
and kids and stuff.
Most of the wives of my friends that have lost their lives haven't even been able to like speak or function.
Yeah, no, that's I've seen
for months.
They can barely like talk. They can barely. It's like just they can't get out of bed. It's just they're not on a podcast tour and a book tour.
But and like laughing maniacally.
I've never seen anyone lose someone close to him acting like that after.
And it's not just
probably lost a lot of fucking people.
Even friends, dude. It's not even just like your wife or your significant other. This could be your dog.
No, I've lost a dog. I've been more.
I've been more, dude. Losing a dog would be like, I wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, losing a dog's hard is just funny, but it is.
But you know my point. My point with that is
I love my dog.
Losing a dog, I wouldn't even be able to do that. Just like 48 hours later, just be like, podcast tour. Here we go. Let me talk about it.
I'm gonna go twerk with who was that rapper she had on?
Nicki Minaj.
Cardi B, Nicki Minaj. I get them all mixed up.
But that's another one that's like so crazy to me of rewriting legacies of like. Have you seen Charlie Kirk?
Charlie Basher, yes.
Have you seen his famous clip of that? He was like, "Look, Nicki Minaj is not a good role model for young black women."
She's not.
And what's the first thing Erica Kirk does? Pulls her up on stage. And it's like,
not just black women, women in general. We don't want daughters and shit watching that.
But nope, this is the face of young conservative women now. And you're like, what are you talking about?
Being a whore and twerking and it's not good.
No, it's crazy, dude. So.
Well, even like it's different in the military, right? You lose someone, you have to go fight, but that's got to be a struggle. Like,
well, in the military, it's rough, man, because
you
like,
have to. Dude, we also want to get revenge at that point. So we
do funerals downrange, man. Like I've been to funerals in Afghanistan. Like dudes get killed on a mission, and you hit the funeral tomorrow, and like you got an op the next night.
Yeah, but you almost want revenge. I got something to get it out.
That's very true. And so that's
got to be a crazy mental.
That's kind of what we were talking about earlier, where I was talking about how some veterans are still so like hardcore anti-Islam, is
because they lost a friend.
Yeah,
they blame
it's
Islam,
and that's why I'm not
it.
judgmental at all, and I understand that completely from our veterans that are like still on that side of the fence. Is like, yeah, man, there's a lot of anger, a lot of resentment also, but at the same time, it's like that was their country, dude.
No, they should hold more resentment. Like, Brent Tucker had a little of that, but I could see he's open-minded at least. I really like Brent.
Yeah, no, but we love Brent.
He's open-minded. He's willing to listen. A lot of people.
I think Brent's one of those that like Brent's such a smart guy.
On our side.
He's such a smart guy as well that like, and he's a good man and he's a kind man.
You can just tell he's a good person. Exactly.
Yeah, he's an amazing person.
And right away, like, I like this guy.
He's not a guy. There's some of the right wing like Zionists that are like they think it's funny. Well, what's happening in Gaza? Like Brent's not a guy like that.
I
you know what I
can't be
mean?
friends with those people. I don't want anything to do with those people. They're just
that's
sick.
where I'm at. I'm done with those
sick
people.
Yeah,
I talked about
guys
that.
like Brent. I understand he has compassion still. He's just a little like.
If you are the type of person, because there's camps to this, right? Where with Israel stuff, if you're the type of person that believes supporting Israel is actually beneficial. I don't believe this argument.
No,
but,
not at all.
There is this argument. Supporting Israel is actually beneficial because they counter the Islamic extremism problem in the Middle East. I don't believe this because we're the ones who caused that problem. But
it wasn't a problem.
But if that's your opinion and that you're like, yes, it's horrible what they're doing, but I think the cost benefit analysis of this is that it's more important that we support them, even though this is happening. Like, okay, that's an argument where like you're acknowledging what they're doing is horrible, but you think that strategically it still is more important. Mm-hmm. That's one argument. Then there's the other argument of like, we know it, like the Zionist gaslighting argument of like, Israel's not committing genocide. Israel's not bombing hospitals. Like they're not cutting off food. Nobody's starving. Nobody's killing journalists. Nobody's like those people, I think, are like the people in society that, to your point, I'm so done with.
Yeah.
I will not engage with you. People, I'm not going to deal with you at all because you're not living in any sense. Well, the thing is, I know they know better.
Yeah. Well, they won't listen. Like if you tell someone to look something up, they won't do it. Like Brent, I told him to look a couple things up. He looked them up.
Yeah.
And he said I was right. So it's like, okay, this guy's listening.
Yeah. Yeah, but those people aren't listening, dude.
Yeah. So if someone would listen, I'll have a conversation if you disagree. But people that are just like so out there and they're okay with killing kids, like if you're okay with killing kids and try to argue,
or they try to say it's not happening, and it's like, dude,
it's just so delusional.
Again, I just tell everybody, I'm like, go look at the flyover drone footage. There's nothing there.
Yeah, and some estimates say up to like 650,000 because there's so many missing.
Well, that's the other thing is we don't know what's under the rubble.
Yeah, I mean, think of how many are probably under there. There could be. I think the official, they say like 100,000 or something. I don't know exact numbers, but it could easily be a few 100,000. And just the suffering they're going through. Like everyone's lost people, kids, so many kids with arms blown off. Yeah. I mean, I've been around vets with arms and legs blown off. I'm sure you've been more than me. And some of these guys came in, trained jiu-jitsu as a program.
Yeah, what
was the program
kids,
called?
Dude.
Yeah, but even these adults, it's like sad seeing. At least they're out. The guys that I was dealing with are trying to do jiu-jitsu and shit. So it's awesome they have these programs. But that's brutal, losing your fucking legs. And these are kids and they're laughing at it.
Yeah. Yeah, you got people like Randy Fine and Lindsey Graham. Or like fucking on Twitter, like literally laughing, being like, "Yeah, we need to keep starving Gaza children."
Jerk off to dead kids, bro. Those guys are fucking sick.
Yeah, man. So like those people, to me, and this is where I'm like, who's a bigger problem in America? Is it Dearborn, Michigan, or is it people like Randy Fine and Lindsey Graham?
Yeah, it's people manipulating our government. Well, also there's like Jewish neighborhoods, no one bitch about them. There's all Chinese neighborhoods in America.
Have you seen though the
video that just came
out?
The
new big story of the
Jewish
Hasidic Jews that are basically committing as much welfare fraud
as the Somalis. They do this in Brooklyn too. They have all the Section 8 housing, but they're all nice. They have money.
You know what's interesting is the media picking that story up like they did Nick Shirley's story.
Yep.
No.
They're not driving it.
They're not fucking telling anybody about that
Elon's
story.
not boosting it.
Nope.
JD Vance isn't. Well, that Smalley thing had actually been out for a while, too. It wasn't like
That's
new.
years old, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. It wasn't a new story. It was, what was happening that time? It was the deflection on something.
Oh, probably the Epstein files.
And I don't want a bunch of fucking Somalians. Yeah, probably. I don't want a bunch of Somalians in my country. I don't want to do fraud. But it's not the biggest fucking problem.
No. And that's 100%. And that's where I try to give like the context of this, of people being like, well, are you just want Islam to invade our country? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I want Islam to stay in Islamic countries, but I also want us to not go bomb the shit out of them to create a massive refugee crisis that's going to flood Europe and the United States. Because the cultures are fine. I think like, hey, Islamic culture and your own culture is fine.
Yeah.
American culture's fine. Chinese culture's fine. Like Latin American culture's fine. Do we need to shove it all into America? No. I'm not a supporter of that at all. Yeah. But at the same time, when I'm looking at what are the biggest problems in this country, when I start to look around at the biggest problems in this country, one, it's the biggest one is going to be the economy and the labor market in the future for young men. because we can look at things like the housing market.
I think it's already, the housing's fucking expensive as fuck. Young people can't buy houses. They're not
Young
on jobs.
Men, most importantly, because young men start families, right? And so what we've seen is now the economy's so bad and the labor market for young men is so bad. And then you add in the fact that housing, and if you want to raise a family, you're not trying to do it in a studio fucking apartment.
Typically, you want ideally the man's working and the girl can raise the kids, but hardly anyone can do that anymore.
In a home, but the problem is,
in a home, not a little apartment.
Now the average age of a first-time home buyer is 40 years old.
Holy shit!
The average age of a home buyer in general in America is 60 years old. So
the boomers are out of touch of like,
and so you have this entire generation of young men who have no access to what younger generations of men did in this country, where they could be 25, get married, work a full-time job, afford a home, wife could stay at home, raise the kids. Like, that's sort of the American dream. That's fucking gone. And so what does that mean for young men in the next generation moving forward? Well, if they're not having kids, well, we're going to start, and then we're also taking this massive refugee crisis from everywhere.
Which is intentional.
Which is intentional.
Seems
right.
For sure.
We're gonna lose out on that American culture, and so my big thing with immigration is like, if you want to come here and you want to assimilate to America and American culture, I'm all about that.
Yeah.
But like these enclaves, Jewish enclaves, Somali enclaves, Ethiopian enclaves, Latin American enclaves, to me, I don't fucking want that here.
No, I don't care what race it is. They have them in all over California. You go, no one's speaking English because it's all Mexican. Like, I don't want to go to that.
Yeah.
I don't hate Mexican people. I don't want to go to an area they don't fucking speak English in America.
Yeah.
You know, like the Muslims in the Bay Area, for the most part, were assimilated and not a problem. Now there's areas where like a lot of Afghans over here, a lot of Syrians here, but they weren't out causing problems in the Bay Area.
Yeah. It's just enclaves. And so that's where I'm like, this is nuanced, right? To where it's like, I can not hate Islam, but also not want like third worldism taking over the country at the same time.
People just don't understand. Like, oh, you're simping for them. You want to bring a bunch of Muslims? No. Like, no, I don't. You don't listen to what I fucking say.
I just don't. I just don't.
Oh, you're a white nationalist. Like, no, I just don't want to bring a bunch of foreigners.
And I also don't want to go spend trillions of dollars to bomb them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because all of that money, think about all the money in the global war on terror. If it could have been used instead of
trillions,
destabilizing the entire Middle East and killing at least 1 million people, 25 million people in the refugee crisis. All that money that went into that. Had it been invested into we could have been like
good schools.
How come every fucking city in the United States doesn't look like Dubai?
People that say the Middle East is so bad, go to fucking Dubai.
But it could look that way.
I bet it's fucking really nice in Qatar. You been there?
It's amazing.
Yeah, people always, these people hate you. It's third world. Like, you haven't fucking been to these countries. There's so many different fucking Islamic countries.
And
doesn't mean we want to bring them here, but they have nice countries. Some of them.
And
clean,
why
girls are safe?
Why doesn't with our wealth, our power? Why doesn't every goddamn city look like Dubai?
It should. And we shouldn't have to fucking do GoFundMes for our friends' fucking kids' cancer treatment.
That too. It's right? Like, why isn't, like, people, I get called a socialist all the time because I'm like.
That's the one, though, the medical. It's like, come on, dude. Someone's fucking kid has cancer.
That's what I was just
They
going
have
to
a
say.
fucking GoFundMe. I just donated money to that fucking couple months ago. Like, I shouldn't have to fucking donate $1,000 to my friend's fucking kid's fucking cancer, but like.
But if you say, hey, like, because I say this all the time, I'm like, look, would I rather the $34 billion that went to Israel last year, plus the $40 billion that went to Argentina, plus the extra billions that went to Ukraine? I would have rather that been used on free healthcare for Americans, and Americans will be like, you're a socialist.
Yeah, it's so retarded.
Just for that, for me, it's just saying I would rather
every other country has it.
I would rather the U.S. aid going to all these countries just got spent on free healthcare, and they'll be like, you're a socialist commie. And you're like,
every other first world country has free medical. I still don't understand.
And we
still could have private hospitals and have like a basic free one, and you could have private ones that people pay for.
There's countries, including Israel, we send billions of dollars to that have free education for all their. Israel does.
And usable schools. You can't even send your kids to fucking public
schools.
So
how come
places.
And here's my stance on this. One, I don't want any money sent to anywhere, but any country has free healthcare and free education for their entire society does not need any money from the United States until American citizens
I couldn't agree more.
Have the exact same thing.
See, that's insane right there. The fact everyone should be like, if we don't have free healthcare and shit, we shouldn't be giving money to countries to do. That should be common fucking sense.
But it's not. It's you're a communist.
Yeah, like, and childcare is so expensive, so like everything's too expensive. That's why people aren't having kids, and then you can't. One parent typically doesn't make enough money to provide.
Nope, not anymore.
You have to have, like, you look at the average salary, it's crazy how low it is. And with the prices going up, it's...
Dude, and I think I looked at average, I'd put up a video that was showing average prices in 1999. And it was like, no, this was like everything, like Big Macs, Pepsi, a home.
Yeah.
And dude, it's like in 25 years, we've like 400x'd in price. So
and how much the wages
everything is like
not even close. I need to look this up.
12%.
Do some of this. I
know prices are up like 400 or 500%. Wages are up like 12%.
Jesus. Yeah.
And so that's
cars,
like if we take that same if we're on that same path mathematically, if 25 years from now everything is 5 times as expensive as it is now, think about that.
We're fucked unless the people that own
the average home is going to cost $2 million.
Yeah.
Right? Your average rent is going to be like $7,000 a month.
Mm-hmm. The only thing is people that have a lot of money and assets end up kind of okay from it.
Of course. And that's why the boomer generation isn't worried.
Yeah.
Is because they and I'm not trying to knock
the
boomer generation.
The people that have nothing, or I'm okay where I'm like, I still think that really bad could be fucked, but I have some assets and houses and shit. But the people that don't, they don't give a fuck about these people. They're just like, oh, it's their fault. But they look at these fucking houses. Even in Vegas, houses are expensive now.
Well, all the wealth is like pooled at the top, which it's gonna be in a society, right?
Yeah, because to some degree, but it's getting too extreme. COVID made it a lot more extreme.
Yeah,
we want like a vibrant middle class. You don't want it where people are fucking. Some people do. Some people want it where they're rich and everyone's below them. But that's not a good functioning society.
No, and that's another thing where I'll get called a socialist, where I'm like, hey, maybe it's not a good thing that Elon Musk has $800 billion.
Right. Well, I think clearly there should be, you should be able to make a lot more money than other people, but there also should be easier to be middle class.
If we had like the best middle class in the world and like we had the best economy in the world, I wouldn't care if Elon Musk had $800 billion. If we had universal health care and our schools were good and our infrastructure was great and our highways were nice.
Roads are falling apart.
Right. And
airports are disgusting.
And there wasn't homeless crisis everywhere I looked, and there wasn't fentanyl zombies on the street. I would be like, hey, good for you, man. But like when we have all of those problems and the wealth disparity,
it got worse.
Look at
COVID
it from
too,
before COVID.
Probably deliberate. No, to COVID.
And after COVID,
wiped out a lot of the middle class. That's when prices skyrocketed. But like I said, it didn't really hurt the rich that much because it's stocks.
It did the opposite of helping.
Yeah.
Or it fucking
stock market.
The rich
booms, the houses went up.
I think what did Elon Musk's net worth like 40x'd since COVID? I mean, who else is like the
you know, really made a lot of money. What's the guy that Charlie Kirk had to meet with right before? Jewish guy.
Bill Ackman.
Bill Ackman. He bet like $2 million, turned it into $2 billion in a month.
Yeah.
Trades like that don't happen.
Yeah, and COVID.
Yeah, and he's the one that pushed Trump to lock down the fucking country, and then he put this bet in, and then he's telling investors, sell, sell, sell. He's buying.
Yep.
Just fucking scum. Just wiping out the middle class while he made $2 billion during COVID.
Yeah, and so what I tell people is, because everybody's like, what, are you not a capitalist? I'm like, but we're not a capitalist economy right now. There's no more capitalism left in America. We are a corporate oligarchy, or a corporate socialist oligarchy. Essentially what that means is you have all of the money funneled in the oligarchy class, the corporate class, and they don't actually pay any taxes. That's like the biggest tax. The big beautiful bill was just one massive
really
tax
rich
break.
people, they don't pay any taxes.
No, they pay like
crazy accounts.
4% in taxes.
I've seen so many crazy ways to get around it. Being around people, I'm like, whoa, you guys don't pay any taxes.
And so my point with that is like, it's capitalism for me and you and the viewers, the lower and middle class. We operate under like strict capitalism, like ruthless capitalism, which means you don't get any of the socialism program benefits. You don't get the free healthcare. You don't get free education. You get ruthless capitalism. That's still not capitalism because you're still taxed at 20 to 40% of your fucking earnings. But the corporate class has the exact opposite system, which they have socialism, corporate socialism, which
they're
means
always throwing money in.
They're always getting money from the government. They're always getting grants. They're getting bailouts. They don't have to pay taxes.
I think the best example is 2008, right? The real estate market crashed. Everyone lost their homes, devastated. I had so many friends that were broke. What happened to the banks? They got bailed out, got bonuses. So they did.
Airline industry, it's happened to as well.
They knew what they were doing, and they knew it was going to crash. They were giving anyone loans, making up bullshit with all these balloon payments. And then when it crashed, oh, it's all right. They're going to bail me out.
Yep. And I think we're going to see the same thing with the AI bubble.
Yeah.
You're going to see all these companies like OpenAI, Google, Oracle that are like building NVIDIA, that are building out this massive AI bubble, which is actually what's artificially propping up the stock market right now, is just all of these tech companies are just, well, they're just selling back and forth to each other, which is artificially jacking the GDP up through the roof. Because NVIDIA, you have in this AI tech bubble, you got NVIDIA who's making the super chips, and they're selling them to Google and OpenAI. And then you've got Oracle who's making the server databases. You've got like Microsoft, OpenAI making the software, and everybody's just, it's like this circular, they're just selling shit back and forth to each other, and it's driving up the GDP.
So fucking inflated. I have some of the stocks, so I was thinking maybe I should fucking sell them because
it's getting sketchy. But my point with that is like none of that is actually, it makes it on paper look like, oh, the GDP is so good, but the American economy, it doesn't see any of that.
Well, those companies aren't making that much money either, are they? So it's
no.
kind of like
OpenAI is making no money. They're not
you
profitable.
Have these huge evaluations.
Exactly.
But it's like, where's the money?
They haven't figured it out yet. And so what happens?
Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. There could be a huge crash.
And what happens if they don't? Well, then you're going to have the government come in and bail out probably trillions of dollars to NVIDIA.
But the regular investors won't the crash.
Yeah, exactly.
So a small investor, if you got like 20,000 of the stock crash, you're going to fucking lose it, and then the company will get bailed out though.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's probably the next big crash that's coming.
No, I kind of think you're right. Like the dot-com boom
and because none of the math on the economy makes any sense right now with how bad the labor market is, unemployment. Like there's zero job growth.
I've had a lot of people hit me up for jobs recently, including friends, not just random like DMs. Like, oh fuck, people that are like, and a couple competent people looking for work, like work underneath what they should be doing.
Yeah, when I finished my master's degree last year, and when I was getting done, I was talking to a bunch of my the kids, and I call them kids. They're 25, 26, 30-year-olds. They're not kids, but talking to them.
Calling people that kids and it shouldn't be when you get older.
Yeah, but talking to them like, hey, what are you guys going to do afterwards? You got any job lined up? I obviously was doing this, right, and retired out of the military, so it was a little bit different for me. But every single one of them I talked to told me they have like, I've put in probably 100 resumes, and I haven't been contacted back by anyone. And those are master degree students that are just like, and MBA, so like Master in Business Association, which is like the most broad, like typically the easiest.
Yeah, you should be able to get a job right away.
It's a management job, right? Like you would think that would be one of the easiest, and like all of them are like, there's no one hiring.
It doesn't seem like what I'm hearing and what they're saying with the jobs don't seem to match. I think they're fudging it or something for the midterms probably.
Well, we know the labor market is in the shitter. But the economy, again, through
because
GDP.
the stock market and stuff's looking good.
Right. We have a 4% GDP growth. And it's like, yeah, but.
I feel like the stock has to be. No, I'm thinking the same thing. A lot of these stocks are overvalued. Looking at being like, maybe get rid of some of my stocks.
I've got the vast majority of my money in cash right now.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pull a bunch of
I'm not trying to give any financial advice.
Not either. But
no financial advice.
I'm not always talking, but I think I'm going to pull some of them. I was just thinking that. Like,
I'm like, we're at record high. None of it makes sense. We're at record highs with a terrible economy and a terrible labor market. Like that, the numbers.
Exactly. And most of my money's in the stock market right now. I think it's a good time to get the fucking half of it out.
I pulled a lot out earlier in the year. I still have some in, but like I'm looking to switch more to like
some in is probably a good
silver
idea,
and gold and just like
gold's at record highs and silver too.
And I mean, I probably will continue that. Tangible.
I have some friends who are telling me to get gold and they got it.
Which is also not a great sign for the stock market and the economy. When precious metals start to sky,
that's a bad sign for that means people think it's going to collapse.
Yeah, people are hedging that the stock market's potentially going to collapse. So so if you see silver and gold go vertical,
it's not a good sign, and they've both been going up.
Silver has for sure.
Anything else we should before we wrap? We've been for a while. I think we covered a lot,
man.
right?
I think we're good. It's been a fun one.
No, it was great. I'll have to come on your show sometime and do a stream or something. That was great. I'm glad to meet you, man.
We need to do some live stream together.
Yeah, I want to start doing more live streaming. I haven't really done. I've done a couple, but I want to start doing live streaming. You do a lot, right?
Twice a week, yeah.
Twice a week, yeah. Just hop on there one. You go a while, don't you? You go hours. I saw.
We'll do like 3. Sometimes we do long ones. Usually the average is about like
5 hours,
3 to 4 hours.
Maybe I'm wrong about that.
We did 5 hours last.
Okay,
last
I think that was just the one I saw, and I'm like, oh shit, you go forever. So
that's what everybody says. Everybody's like, dude, you do these crazy long live streams. Like, I don't actually even mean to.
It's just you're having fun.
Yeah, and I'll plan out a show. The show will usually last like 2-3 hours, and then you'll get into the super chats, start interacting with the community.
That's a good thing about live, I can do super chats and stuff.
Yeah, and you start doing live. It's also fun too because then you get once you do them for long enough. Like you'll get a baseline community and like then you start to like learn your own community and it's cool because you know everybody that's in the chat and then it's like you're hanging out.
They start feeling like kind of friends.
Yeah.
What days do you live stream?
Tuesdays and Fridays. So Tuesday we do.
You gotta kind of do it the same day, same time. Probably not going tomorrow, right? Because you got your fucking
not this week, but Tuesdays we do a political live stream. We just basically it's the politically homeless live stream that we do. So we just basically look at all the stupid shit going on in the political world, left, right, and center.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah, and that makes it easy for that. And then Friday we usually do just like a dedicated show on some whatever topic we got going on. So yeah, we'll definitely have you on soon
and see where shit goes. I think I'll start doing it once a week at least, and then do some other pre-records. But
you definitely should. Yeah,
but pick like one night, go.
Yeah,
seems like a smart thing to do.
Oh yeah, dude, live stream is great
because I like like you said, the interaction with you interact with the people more that way.
Yeah.
Even with like Stico did like one of those streaming things, but like all the people, it's even more than like YouTube where they can bring up all the links for them and questions. I'm like, oh, this is how you talk in front of a computer by yourself. It's because you're interacting with the chat and they're pulling up links. They're like, it was way easier than I thought. I'm like, this is gonna be weird to sit there and talk in front of a camera. I'm like, oh, this is easy.
So with I use StreamYard, streaming service, but like I'll like build the show out. So then I like have all the articles, tabs, videos, everything that I need. To like talk through it, so that way
and then you can pull up the
if you watch my live streams. If you watch my live streams, I'm not doing like who's Nick Fuentes. If you watch him, like he just sits down in front of a camera and talks for 2 hours, which like
and that's a talent.
That's a hell yeah, it's a talent. It's hard to do.
Takes, but he's definitely a fucking talent.
To just be able to sit there and just talk.
He's extremely talented at that.
I try to use production value to where like we're using videos, clips, memes, but it makes it easier to like talk about things rather than just sit down. So. That's the way I like to do it because it makes it a little bit more interactive.
And you can get questions from the audience, that type of shit. That makes it easier.
Yeah.
Oh shit, we should have plugged your channel earlier, but we mentioned it. I need to start doing that in the beginning.
I'm not worried about it, man.
Yeah, but we talked about though how we mentioned it at least, but yeah, everyone go follow him.
I imagine that
if anyone's still listening, it's probably already fucking follows you or will follow you.
Probably, I would bet that a huge amount of both of our audiences probably know who we are.
No, that's
already.
what I saw in the thing. Like you were in the top 10
from your audience.
Mine, yeah. So
that
I'm
makes
like,
sense.
oh shit, that's when I hit you up, and then people mentioned you, and I saw you were in the top 10. So I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So, man, thanks so much.
Hell yeah, man. Good to meet you.
Definitely do it again.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get some training in too. Teach them how to shoot. I teach you how to choke a motherfucker out.
Yeah, we definitely would need to get some cross training in.
As many of you know, I have many controversial guests, so that comes at a cost of being demonetized everywhere. So if you want to support the program, go to fightbackpodcast.com, and I have all kinds of merch on there, whether it's jiu-jitsu, fighting, political, and other accessories. And thanks for the support.